Designed to help people struggling with tax debt. Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-473-9933. 800-473-9933. 800-473-9933.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got NewsTalk Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SAVVY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of NewsTalk Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of NewsTalk Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text SAVVY to 42424. That's SAVVY to 42424.
Feel like clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-383-9393.
Yes,
That's 800-384-9393.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up loud. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's that day, people. You know what that day is. It's the day that you get another day of Reese on the radio. That's right. Nutmeggers, scallywags across the fruited plain. What's going on? You know what it is. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. Plenty of things to get into today. A hearty congratulations to the President of the United States. And that's just for bringing back Columbus Day. I'm sorry. I'm going to do it again. Indigenous Peoples Day. Come on. You folks didn't really think I was going to last, right? It looked good, all right? It looked good. It looked good. There's a part of you out there that was going to say, yeah, man, this Indigenous Peoples Day, that might stick. It looked good. No. No. It wasn't. It wasn't. And it's nice to get back to a little bit of normalcy. Not that we can't celebrate Indigenous folks. You know? Not that we cannot celebrate the natives. I'm just saying no more changing stuff. because not all change is good. I try to explain this, folks, to you for a long time. Not all change is good. They tried to sell us that nightmare back in 2008. Remember that? Hope and change? What's wrong, Reese? What's wrong? You can't deal with change. Everything changes. I'm like, nobody said I couldn't deal with change. But you guys keep trying to sell change like it's always good. It was like, what's wrong with this one? I said, not all change is good. What do you mean? Your mama dies tomorrow. Good change? Well, no, I mean, I'm not. That's a change, right? Huh? You get diagnosed with an incurable disease. That's change. You were living your life. All of a sudden, doctor tells you, got 6 months, buddy. Change? Yes. Good? Not so much. All of a sudden, you have to start changing your plans for the future. Not all change is good. And guess what? Change, as far as it being good, is subjective. Because you guys thought that change was good, didn't mean it was going to be good for the rest of us. I mean, really think about it, folks. Ask people about their health care premiums today, and they will tell you there ain't a lot of change that they're happy about. It's all nonsense. You know what I used to say when people used to say to me, hope and change? I used to say, I hope after it's over, I at least still have change in my pocket. Some of us did not. And you know who you are. Why am I going back to old Barack Hussein Obama? Why am I even going back there? You know why. How did you not read this? The tea leaves, the writing on the wall, as they say. How could you not? People are now talking about Donald Trump getting the Nobel Peace Prize. And give it up, because he might get it. He might get it. Not that it matters. Not that it matters. I'll be honest with you. No one really cares. Maybe me just a little bit, but nobody really cares. But my opening monologue has everything to do with that. And that's because if Trump does win the Nobel Peace Prize, it is the death knell on the legacy of Barack Hussein Obama. It just is. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. What has been the one thing related to that award that many people were upset about when it came to Barack Obama? It was the fact that he had done nothing. He had achieved no peace. He got the award simply based upon the fact that he existed. You want to hear the irony of that? It happened on this day in 2009. Yeah, ABC News was so eager to post it today. On this day in 2009, former President Barack Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize from what the Norwegian Nobel Committee called this extraordinary effort to strengthen international diplomacy, because he wanted it to be strengthened. Not because he had actually done anything, but he had thought about it, or talked about it, or Obama tweeted about it. And just because he wanted peace, I want peace. That's all I ever wanted. I want peace for everybody. What's this? The Nobel Peace Prize, just for talking about it? Well, I didn't know it was that easy. Thank you. I appreciate it. Congratulations to me. And I thank me. That was Barack Obama. This would really destroy the legacy that he is the most transformational president in our history. It won't even matter, because the only thing they'll have really to talk about is he was black. That's it. That's all they'll have. They know it, it bothers them, and they're struggling. They're struggling like hell. But before we get to the happy place, we have to go to some dark crevices. I'd like to go back to that song by, is it Neil Sedaka who sang the song? Do you remember the times of your life?
Well, we were on the brink of World War III because Donald Trump took the worst possible option given to him in a slideshow.
In this country, we have begun to overestimate the dangers of impeachment and underestimate the dangers of a deranged president retaining control over a nuclear hyperpower.
We cannot wait around while Donald Trump is in control of the nuclear weapon.
Your objection to potentially going into World War III cannot be procedural.
The biggest danger of the Trump presidency is that we are always just a Trump whim away from nuclear war.
They say it's World War III, but I'm looking out my window. It's very quiet in those smoking craters out there.
Has to be told that it's his job to avoid World War III.
One Democratic congressman send me a note this evening and say this president wants this war.
A future administration needs to find a way to put an end to the forever wars.
We're in a new normal, and the new normal is forever war.
But there's a big difference between ending the forever wars, which he wants to do responsibly, and what seems to be President Trump's rather itchy Twitter finger.
The objective needs to be to end the forever wars.
If Congress does not want to go to war, now is the time to start putting restraints on this president. And again, they've been giving him green lights all the way.
Yeah, remember that? Do you remember the times of your life? And remember in 2020 when Joe Biden got into the White House, there had been no new wars under Donald Trump's reign as president. And remember what they told us about that first day in the Oval Office? I remember.
Anybody who has any connection to reality about what is going on around them should have watched that and said, the adults are back in the room.
Once again in the White House, who's just simply doing the work.
Really, the theme, I would say, is the adults are back.
Still, it is a relief to have adults in charge.
Now we have adults in the White House.
Okay, the adults are back in the room.
There is a sense, I think, the world over that the adults have returned.
We have an adult in the White House now, and it's glorious.
Yes, it's glorious. Do you remember the times of your life? I remember it. I remember it. And what all of those folks, again, some of those same folks, they were the ones that were telling everybody what you should be afraid of. This president was awful. It's going to be World War III. He's got a hold of the nuclear button. It's going to be World War III. It's going to be calamity for all of us. Wasn't it? Wasn't it? We couldn't get that guy back in office. And then he gets back in office, and those same folks over at that same network, I wonder what tune they're singing today.
For Israel, make no mistake, this is a huge night, potentially the end of the nightmare. For the people of Gaza, this is going to be an enormous relief. For the people of Israel, potentially the end of a 2-year-long nightmare.
One of the things about honesty and citizenship and a sense of, I would say, maturity about what people in a democracy should do is, even if someone with whom you disagree about 99 things does the 100 really well, you should say so, because that's what intellectual honesty is. And so all credit to President Trump and his, as you say, unconventional team.
What do you make of what the president has said in a social media post, that they've signed off on the first phase of the peace plan? What does that mean to you?
Anderson, momentous day. There's not much good news in the world. This is great news. I am trying to hold it together, honestly. Worked on this issue a very long time.
The deal that President Trump is announcing played a key part in negotiating. It is a significant change. This war was blocked for 2 years. President Biden, who preceded him, was unable to find a way to stop it. President Trump found that way by being tough on both sides. And he'll take a victory lap for sure over the next few days.
And there's no question that if this goes as planned, if we see those remaining hostages freed and Israel begin its withdrawal,
It is a remarkable achievement, and President Trump most certainly deserves credit for his role. He has done this through diplomacy, pressure, and the sheer force of his personality and persistence. He dispatched diplomats again and again, made threats just in the last few days to Hamas, saying again if they did not sign the deal, all hell would break loose. And they had the bombing of Iran as an example of that. But perhaps most importantly, he pushed Benjamin Netanyahu in ways his predecessor and others have not, Robin.
So what's up? So what's up? That's all I'm saying. So what's up? You got nothing. I mean, come on. It deserves acknowledgement. I mean, doesn't it? Just a little bit of acknowledgement. Now, I'm not saying, look, as far as I'm concerned, President Trump, as far as a victory lap is concerned, he ain't out of the weeds yet. We have until Monday and Tuesday until we actually start seeing hostages released. We know it's going to be kind of difficult because in the way he described it today, and many others have been describing it that I've talked to, saying that getting those who have died is going to be a serious ordeal to make sure that every one of those individuals are recovered, because there may have been some folks that they lost track of, quite possibly, and who may not be returned because they don't know where they are. This isn't a clean exchange. There's going to be some dirtiness that goes on here. And there's going to be some concessions. We also know, because I watched the press conference this morning, there are going to be some lifers on the Israeli side who are in prison, who have to be released as part of the negotiation. They don't have a list of some of those individuals. Well, some of them they have that are not going to be released, but they have some of the people who are going to be released that many Israelis are not particularly happy with them being released, but have decided, you know what? It's a reasonable concession, because at the end of the day, no one's dying. No one's got to look up in the sky and worry about the Iron Dome. Nobody's got to worry about people going through tunnels and snatching kids. So a victory lap, I won't go so far. But we got to call a thing a thing. I love that term now. That's what the left used to use all the time. And I'm bringing it back just for them. The thing has got to be the thing. They told us, they warned us. And at one point, and that's one thing I want to ask all the detractors, at what point do you lay down the vitriol and then join with the rest of us? Shouting, celebrating, shaking each other's hands, and saying, you know what, I didn't like you, buddy. I didn't like your guy. But you know what, I'm glad he did this. You know what, I can celebrate him doing this because it's a good thing for everyone. He's actually going to he might be able to achieve peace in the Middle East. Sure, there are going to be some stragglers. Sure, there are going to be some radical fundamentalists. But you know what? Got a lot of countries on board. Oh, and the other thing is, how did he do it? Remember the T word all of you were screaming and hollering about? Tariffs. Through the one thing, and this is something I've said ever since I was a kid. Anytime I watch these movies, I always say, what do we always find out at the end of the day? It's always about the money. If you want to change the minds of anyone, you want to take the biggest bigot, the angriest individual, whatever the subject is, if that person were to win the lotto tomorrow, to put $1 million in their pocket where they didn't have to worry about a thing, everything that ails them, personally, donezo. They forget all about it. Because now they have the means to do whatever they want, and they don't have to concern themselves over the trifling things. They would just take their money and take care of themselves. They got nothing to be angry about. It's funny, as Cyndi Lauper put it, money changes everything. And deep down, when everyone else thought that it was about this thing and that thing, and because these people are that types, and they think according to this, that a businessman, a real estate mogul, a billionaire, a reality show star was able to get down in the trenches with these people and say, how about we make this beneficial for you and your people? You can do business between Israel and everyone else, and your people will have a wealth they've never known. It will cure all their ails. And they thought about it and said, you know, that is the biggest problem we have. I mean, if you ask any leftist, that's what they tell you every day. What they're trying to do is get economic hierarchy. They're trying to take it away from those who have it, try to redistribute it to the others. And if people just had that, their lives would be better. Okay. Hey, leftists, looks like it worked. Now, how about you all get on board and celebrate with the rest of us? Or is this not enough? That's okay. We've got 3 more years. And all I want is victory and victory and victory. If we could play the song, I would be like, all I do is win, 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 no matter what. I would love that. I would do that right now. I'm just loving the wins. I'm digging them. I'm digging them. And you should too. This is not me mushing your face in it. This is me celebrating. And you can join in. Hey, party's open. No cover. We'll be back. It's Reese On The Radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
You'll get more than you expect with McValue at McDonald's. So when you've spent too much on a night out, get deals on the after party. When you've got date night, get deals on favorites that'll make you their favorite. And when you've got family for the weekend, we've got breakfast.
It only takes $5 to fire up the flavor with the hot and spicy McChicken in the $5 meal deal. Or $6 to savor a McDouble in the $6 meal deal. Price and participation may vary. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest.
Attention Southern New England HVAC and mechanical contractors. Eagle Rivet is your trusted roofing partner for professional roof penetrations and flashing. We ensure your customers' roofs remain watertight during installations, protecting their warranties. We also offer complimentary roof inspections to identify potential issues before any HVAC work begins. Call Eagle Rivet today at 860-953-1231 or visit us online at eaglerivet.com. That's EAGLERIVET.com. Eagle Rivet is proud to support rebuilding together Hartford.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how retailers become constantly connecting must-visit shops. How restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $35 a month. And ask about a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
2:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. We've got mostly sunny skies. It is 57 degrees. Temperatures are going to take a tumble around here tonight. In fact, there's a freeze warning in effect, goes into effect at 11, and will run through 9 Friday morning. Bob Cox explains the forecast to us coming up. President Trump is hailing the first phase of an Israel-Hamas peace deal. He sees hostages, or it sees hostages in Gaza and prisoners held by Israel released, possibly beginning next Monday. Both sides appear closer than ever to ending that 2-year-old war. The UN aid chief says there are hundreds of millions of metric tons of aid ready to flow into Gaza once the word is given. Hundreds of trucks could begin coming across the border. Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones is asking the Supreme Court to pause the $1.5 billion defamation judgment that was imposed against him for lying that the Sandy Hook school shootings were a hoax nearly 13 years ago. He says failing to do so would mean his InfoWars would be acquired by the satirical outlet The Onion. State of Illinois is urging a judge to order the National Guard to stand down in the Chicago area. State calls the deployment a constitutional crisis and suggests President Trump's administration gave no heed to the pending legal challenge. In New Britain, police are continuing their investigation into the discovery of human remains in a large container that was found behind an abandoned building on Clark Street. Medical examiner's office working to identify the person. WTIC News Time is 2:31. Here's Bob with the forecast.
We'll continue to enjoy the sunshine out there today until 6
All right, Jason.
when sunset occurs. It's cool. Temperatures mostly in the upper 50s this afternoon. And then we've got a freeze warning up tonight. It'll be clear, calm, and cold with areas of frost and lows between 28 and 36 with a few exceptions. Friday will be sunny. Highs get into the low 60s. The freeze warning goes until 9 a.m. Friday. Friday night's partly cloudy, lows 38 to 45. And we'll have a mix of sun and clouds on Saturday with highs between 65 and 70. That's likely to be the better half of the weekend weather-wise, as we expect some showers and rain to develop Sunday as a storm system slowly works up the east coast. Also on the windy side Sunday, highs in the low 60s. Still some showers at times on Monday, breezy and cool with a high near 60 degrees. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow Jones is down 279 points. The Nasdaq's down 94, and the S&P is off 31. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune into the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, Joel Johnson here with Johnson Brunetti. Hey, retirement income. Are you sure that you're maximizing your retirement income? Get the retirement income checklist from us, absolutely free. Text the word checklist to 1-800-705-1232. Again, call or text the word checklist to 1-800-705-1232. A checklist to maximize your retirement income.
Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
If you need a new roof, why would you purchase a shingle that gets those ugly algae streaks? Only Atlas Roofing with Scotchgard Protector keeps your roof clean and streak-free for years. It's the Peter L. Brown Company's 65th anniversary, and we would like you to get a roof that stays beautiful with Scotchgard Protector. Atlas Roofing, beauty that lasts. For a free estimate for roofing, siding, windows, and doors, go to peterlbrown.com.
Peter L. Brown, we do it right the first time.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
If you're one of the million...
1 minute.
Behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming,
Yes,
listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-20... 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
Some of the stuff that we got coming up during the show today, of course, is the stupidest thing I read today. And it has to do with the Gulf of America and a small town called Sharon, Connecticut. Stay tuned for that. Also, is it me, or did you think of every Connecticut Democrat as you watched the Katie Porter meltdown? If you don't know what that is, stay tuned for that. We'll bring that up within the 3 o'clock hour as well. We've got some new news as it relates to Between Rounds, our great and beautiful sponsor, and something they're doing to help the needy, especially those with food insecurities, as they refer to it. Negro Nonsense is today. Can't wait for that. I know you can't either. It's Thursday. But this one's going to be a little different. And this one's actually a personal one for my friend Matty O in Bristol. So you stay tuned for that. That's going to happen roughly at about the 4 o'clock hour. And this story has really got me upset. Because... And again, I cannot believe that this organization is in the news again. And it's Connecticut Deep. And if you haven't heard this story about Middletown and the trash collection there, this is really going, like, Deep, what is going on? I don't know why, but it's like, maybe I'm the first person to mention it. Maybe I am. If there's someone else out there, please let me know. I don't want to take credit if someone else was already on this. But I'm really starting to believe I'm the only person pointing out that Connecticut is a damn toxic wasteland that has no idea what it's doing on the environmental front. They talk a damn good game about how much we're environmentally sound, and they are a joke. And the Environmental Protection Group, Deep, is a joke, a clown show. And from what it turns out in this story, a bunch of liars as well. I read this story. I don't even live in Middletown yet, but I'm ticked. I'm like violently ticked off. And the reason why is because I've dealt with this before. When I see these programs, the first thing I do when I see them, I go, what is wrong with you people? Why are you falling for this nonsense? Did anybody means test this? And no, they're always so gung-ho, and you see the smiling faces on these bozos who is just like, God, this is going to be great. I can't wait to get it started. And then it falls flat, and you ask them, okay, what are we going to do now? They go, oh, no contingency plan. Ugh, it drives me crazy. Lori is in Glastonbury. Hello, Lori.
Hey, Reese. So while we're rubbing people's noses and stuff?
I said I wasn't. I said I wasn't.
Okay, but listen, I am, and can we just congratulate the Toronto Blue Jays for making everyone in the baseball world happy?
You mean by beating the Yankees?
Yes.
Why not? Why not? I'll give it to them. I watched a little bit of that game, but I got distracted. I saw the score, and I just went, okay, this might be over.
I am so. It's a brighter world today. The sky is bluer. the trees are more colorful. Everything is right with the world. Because if we had to lose, at least the Yankees are playing golf now too. So let's hope that the golf game is better than their baseball game.
You know, I thought it was fantastic that during the seventh inning stretch, like during the post game and the pregame, they have Big Papi, David Ortiz, and who's sitting there? Derek Jeter and also Alex Rodriguez. I think they do the same show. Yeah, it's not that bad. But anyway, David Ortiz, even after Boston had been eliminated, when it looked like New York was getting their butt handed to them, Big Papi did not shy from ribbing the Yankees right there in studio because it was such a great, he's like you. He's like, I don't care that we lost. You guys losing to the Blue Jays is sweet revenge.
It really, and listen, I will always, A-Rod, I'm sorry, but I will. I don't like the guy.
No, hold on. What was the moment? What was the moment that you really hated him? I've got two. When was the moment you couldn't stand Alex Rodriguez?
We probably have the same too. It's when him and Jason Varitek got into a fight, and Jason Varitek said, nah, buddy, we're not going to let you talk smack to us like that.
Oh, is that from the – you're talking about when Varitek was jawing with him from the mound?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he just went all in. So there's that time, but there's also the fact, like, it was during that same playoff series, and I believe same playoff series, and A-Rod had these huge hamburger helper mitts, and he slapped the ball.
I knew you were going to say it. I knew it.
I mean, it was just so stupid. Like, are you serious?
He was running to first base. Running to first base. He had him dead to rights. They had him dead to rights as an out, and he slapped the ball out of his hand. It was a Bush League move. It really made people angry at him. That was one. Here's the other one that really destroyed it for me. And it was a part of the steroid era. Because the one person who kept telling everybody that Alex Rodriguez was on steroids too. Why am I forgetting his name all of a sudden? From the Oakland A's. He wrote the book. He was the big whistleblower. Somebody's gonna know it. Jose Canseco. That's right. Jose Canseco. He blew the whistle and he said to everybody, say anybody else, any big names, and he said Alex Rodriguez. And the baseball world went nuts when that happened. And of course, then there's that moment where he has to do the interview with all of the Yankees surrounding him. Derek Jeter is there. And in that moment, that's like, for me, it was so embarrassing that the fact that the Yankees organization had to put all their teammates to stand behind him and to support that guy who was a cheater. And here's the part, Lori, that really made me hate him. Because why did you remember the time or the date? I don't remember the exact date, but I remember the time when Alex Rodriguez was named the highest paid baseball player ever as a Texan. And that was like the biggest news. And he got that contract while he was on steroids.
Yeah.
Because that was the time he was on. And I looked at that as he didn't deserve that money. He should have paid that money back. He should have never been allowed to keep it. No team should have been allowed, even when he got traded to the Yankees, no team should have been on the hook for that money, especially the moment where he admitted at the time that he was on it, he was on the Texans. He never should have been allowed to keep any of that money. Nobody should have been made to pay it because he cheated. And that was for me, that was the final straw anyway. But the slapping of the hand was definitely the clincher.
I mean, it's not for nothing, but he just, and I think what kind of just puts a cherry on top of the sundae is his lack of integrity in every area of his life. And it's like, dude, like your name is just mud, and yet here you are sitting at the Fox table.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, don't you get mad at Big Papi riding you because you deserve every last bit of it.
He didn't.
And
You know what?
I mean?
He's got so many other, Lori. I don't want to make this all about baseball, but there's two others now that are popping into my head. Do you remember that this bozo was the worst thing ever? And I remember it was, what was his name? Carver? That was announcing with Joe Buck? Tim Carver?
Gosh, I don't.
Yeah, the World Series. It was during the World Series.
Okay.
Tim Carver and Joe Buck. During one of the World Series. I can't remember which one it was, but it was during the World Series. And Alex Rodriguez announced his retirement in the middle of the World Series.
Oh, yeah.
And Carver openly said, what a classless.
Anything going on.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to announce my retirement, you know.
Yeah. What a classless move. Even Carver said, like, who would do that? It was so classless of him to do that during the World Series and like to make it about him. What a joke. I thought that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, but I was going to say the other one was, this was off the field, was when he started promoting men's makeup. That was it. Did you know about that?
No.
Oh, go look it up.
That's gross.
Go look it up. Alex Rodriguez is
Such an A-Rod thing to do.
Alex Rodriguez. Yes, it was a whole ad campaign where he was. It shows it's Alex Rodriguez putting on men's makeup. They were trying to make that a thing. Oh yeah.
Well, you know, just bless his heart. You know what I mean? And and by the way, thank you for. I don't know why I'm ever surprised. I shouldn't be, but it just gives me joy when you reference obscure songs by artists that nobody really knows all of the obscure songs to. So when you pull out "Money Changes Everything" by Cyndi Lauper, I'm like, of course he does, because it's Reese.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
It's one of my favorite songs on that album. It's one of my favorite songs.
It is. I saw her live at the New Haven Coliseum back in the day, and it was amazing.
Yeah, Cindy's great. Regardless of her politics, I'll always love her. She's one of my favorites growing up.
Exactly.
You got it. Thanks, Lori.
Thank you.
You got it. Yeah, Lori's her love of baseball is unmatched. I'm sorry, guys. It just is. I'm sorry. But I love her. I love her love of baseball. She makes me keep on my toes. Like, I'm watching more baseball because of Lori now. Do you know that? Like, Lori, because I just don't want to be caught off guard with her. She will throw something obscure out there, and I'm just like, okay, now I gotta watch the games now. I gotta be on top of it. We're gonna take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views. Like I said, Between Rounds is doing something great. I want to give them some props for that. If you may have seen them on Fox 61, I think yesterday, with the new program they've got going on that's related to the Connecticut Food Share. It is great, and I hope that you'll be a part of it. We'll mention that. We've got this story about the stupidest thing I read today, the Gulf of America shrimp. If you haven't heard of the story, we'll tell you about it in the stupidest things. We'll break that down. In Middletown trash, why did Deep make these folks buy blue and orange trash bags? Why would they make Middletown do that? And I hear it's not just in Middletown, it's everywhere. Wendy says Aaron Judge sucks. What's wrong with Aaron Judge? I don't like him because he's a Yankee. I ain't got nothing against him personally. Anyway, that's all I can say. We'll take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. It's Reese on the Radio.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Uma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Uma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Brian Jackman here for QC Kinetics. Listen, if you're dealing with joint pain, whether it's arthritis or injury, and you're sick of it and you're not doing anything about it, well, you might want to just pick up the phone because QC Kinetics might be the answer for you. You can get long-lasting relief without drugs, without surgery. They use regenerative medicine that basically revitalizes your joints using growth factors from your own body. That's right, whether it's back, knees, hips, shoulders, whatever it is, they can get you lasting relief. And get this, when you follow up with them, that consultation is totally free. So you go in there, learn if it's right for you, bring your MRIs, bring your x-rays, and at the end of that, you've learned something about yourself, and you might find out that QC Kinetics is the solution you've been looking for. Give them a call right now, 860-440-PAIN. Again, it's 860-440-PAIN. They have locations most likely near you, Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury. And like I said, that first consultation, totally free, risk-free. QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I just saw one of the greatest questions ever on X right now from a person called American Values. And they wrote this. They said, 4-hour drive, and you can listen to only one artist. Who's that artist? And I'm saying to myself, I don't know if they mean that the person, like it can't be a group, which sucks. Because, you know, that would, for me, it would automatically be De La Soul, my favorite rap group of all time. So I can think of, like, I can put a playlist and put their playlist together, and I can listen to that 4 hours, easy breezy. They have enough albums to just do that. But if it's one artist, one for 4 hours, I'd have to say not the entire collection of his work, but I would say certain Prince albums, certain. Not all of them, but I would definitely do like a couple. Who would you put out there, Roland, if you're going to listen to one artist? For Wendy says Pearl Jam. I think that this person, I think technically I'm going to stick with the one individual because they're saying artist instead of like a group or music. Like they didn't make it general. So I'm picking person. I'm going to have to say Prince because I like a lot of his very obscure stuff. What would you say, Roland, if you had to? Like one person as an artist.
Just one artist, not a
not a band.
Well, everybody's gonna say Michael Jackson.
Yeah, that's exactly what Wendy said in the chat room.
Or Prince. But I would say.
Can't think of anything, right?
Yeah.
It's a little difficult, right?
If you did a group, then it'd be different. But
yeah, group. Yeah, okay. Well, fine. We'll broaden it up because a person is kind of hard because you got to go with the usual. The Prince, Michael Jackson. You go with Madonna.
I could do a person, but it's not going to be anybody that anybody thinks is worth.
No, it's okay. Well, that doesn't matter. It's your choice. It's your 4-hour drive. Who would it be?
I can listen to for 4 hours. I can listen to Busta.
Busta Rhymes, good choice.
Yeah.
That's not obscure at all. That's a great choice. Michael B says Boy George. Not a bad one. Richard says Elvis Costello. I got to be honest with you, Richard. I listened to Elvis Costello's greatest hits. I remember 3, maybe 4 records. I remember asking that question here. I was like, who's an Elvis Costello fan? I think we just found one. Richard's an Elvis Costello fan. Wendy said, I can do Mark Anthony. I don't know much about his work, but he's from my neck of the woods. He's from Spanish Harlem. Jason says Elton John. Good list. He's got a good track record. I think you can do 4 hours of Elton John. No one's mentioned Bruce Springsteen, to which I will applaud.
Isn't there a new movie coming out about him?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's a new movie coming out of it. I think the star of that TV show, The Bear, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's a good show.
Yeah, is it a good show?
Yeah, I watched
Well, it's culinary, right? That's why you like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I gotta check it out.
It shows the nuances of how things could get real crazy real fast, but you still have to be able to deal with it.
Yeah, I would definitely check it out. Wendy says, "Ugh, Bruce." I'm again not a Bruce Springsteen fan. I knew a lot of people growing up, especially people I knew out of New Jersey, loved him. He was a god to them, and I couldn't feel him. Wendy says, "Yes, The Bear is awesome." Billy Joel, that's a good pick, Lori. Billy Joel, you can't go wrong there. Billy Joel, I'm not going to lie. There's a lot. I've actually been on a drive for an hour with Billy Joel records and been like, there was like 2 or 3 songs I didn't even know Billy Joel did, and I knew them. And I was like, because I thought he did one song that I actually, and this is true, I'm going to find out which one it is. He had performed, it was a studio song, of course, but he had done a song that was so good, I swore it was Led Zeppelin who did the song. And was in the car, and I was like, yeah, this is Led Zeppelin, right? And they were like, no, that's Billy Joel. I'm like, not going to remember what song it was. I really thought. In fact, the band who does my intro, The Panics, their new set has, I may be right, which is Seven Dust, Matt Wrights. Let me see. Who else? Let me see. I can listen to Aaron Lewis for hours. I'm not sure I don't know who Aaron Lewis is. I don't think I'm familiar with them.
Who is the artist from this the main song in the Lost Boys movie?
Okay, the main song. You're talking about Thou Shalt Not Kill or Cry for the Children? Yeah. That's a very obscure band. No one knows who they are, and I don't think they've ever done another
that was their biggest hit.
Yeah, I think that was their biggest hit to date. Hey, look, Daniel from the Panics is in the chat room. What's going on, buddy? I love your version of the Billy Joel song. I love the new set. They were great the other day. We saw them this weekend. The Doors, too limited. Phil Collins. Kathy, you know what, Kathy? I'm giving you Phil Collins. You forget about that guy. Phil Collins, even though he got a little campy with the Disney Broadway stuff, Phil Collins is still stellar because I'm telling you, not since Thriller has there been an album with so many hits on it like No Jacket Required. Now, please tell me you've heard that album before. You've had to have heard that album before. Phil Collins, that album, No Jacket Required, there are so many songs on that album. I think that you could, Studio. You can listen to that from beginning to end, and it's got a hit on it. Everyone. The lead singer of Stain. One of my good friends just saw them in concert. Michael B. Yeah, he's a good singer too. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff I could think of. But damn, Phil Collins. I think I could do 4 hours. I could do 4 hours of that. Raul of the Mavericks. I'm not familiar with him. What were you going to say, Roland?
Out of road.
Oh, we got to take a break. All right, let's get to the newsroom. John Silva, he's in the WTIC newsroom. It's Reese on the Radio. We'll be back.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
3 o'clock, 57 degrees, sunny skies will keep the sunshine for what's left of the afternoon. We may hit 60, and then temperatures really crash tonight with a freeze warning up. All the forecast details coming up. President Trump hailed the agreement to end the fighting in Gaza. During a cabinet meeting today, Stacey Lynn reports.
It's been really something incredible that nobody thought it was possible to get it done.
President Trump says the deal will bring an everlasting peace to the Middle East.
And very importantly, the hostages are coming back.
He says that should happen either Monday or Tuesday, which he called.
That'll be a day of joy.
But acknowledged.
Getting them is a complicated process. I'd rather not tell you what they have to do to get them. They're in places you don't want to be.
He says he's going to try to make a trip over there as well.
We're working on the timing.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
There have been celebrations in Israel. Haley Ott has more from Hostage Square in Tel Aviv.
In Gaza, where local health officials say over 67,000 people have been killed in this war, and the humanitarian crisis has reached a real breaking point, our colleagues report similar scenes of relief and celebration, that even though there's still a ways to go in terms of the next phase of the White House proposal, there's hope that this horrible chapter that's taken place over the last 2 years may be coming to a close.
Jeremy Pressman is a professor of political science at UConn. He says there's still a long way to go to achieve peace in the Middle East, but the ceasefire is promising.
Where it goes from there, I think, is really an open question, because there's huge questions about the extent to which Israel is willing to fully withdraw from Gaza, the extent to which Hamas is willing to move towards demilitarization, and the extent to which Israel is willing to allow genuine governance to emerge, genuine Palestinian governance.
He says damage to Gaza is beyond extensive, and it will take years just to clear the rubble. One Connecticut agency has set aside money for homeless shelters and support services with the colder weather just around the corner. The State Department of Housing is dishing out $4.5 million to boost cold weather emergency support services as it prepares for the 2025-26 season. DOH Deputy Commissioner Julian Pierce says another $3.5 million going to nonprofits.
This $3.5 million will support 11 nonprofits operating 14 hubs across Connecticut. Physical spaces where people experiencing housing instability can connect with services, build a plan, and start their journey toward stability. These hubs are more than buildings and go beyond shelter. They are beacons of hope for individuals and families.
State managed to help 5,000 people last winter in finding shelter. Last of the inmates that busted out of that Louisiana prison earlier this year is back in custody in a Georgia court today. Derek Groves waived extradition. He'd been doing life on a murder rap. More from reporter Ian Ozon.
Derek Groves waived extradition during a Thursday morning court hearing in Georgia.
And do you want to challenge extradition, or do you want to return to Louisiana?
I want to return where I'm from.
You want to go back to Louisiana?
Yeah.
Okay.
That hearing came roughly 24 hours after authorities tracked Groves down to an Atlanta area house and arrested him after a brief standoff. Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill says her office is already in talks with Georgia officials to bring Groves back to New Orleans, but no timetable for Groves' extradition has been set. Ian Ozan for CBS News, New Orleans.
WTIC news time is 3:04 from the WTIC 24-hour traffic network, wrapping up road work shortly in most areas. We do have a problem down in Meriden, though, on the Route 15 between exit 64A and 64B. It looks like the right lane is taken out there due to a 3-vehicle crash. Elsewhere, we've got volume delays and leftover road work on Route 9 in Newington between exits 38 and 33. Right lane repair work there till about 4. New Britain 84 West between 36 and 33. That's right lane till about 3:30, and in Waterbury, eastbound 84 between 22 and 25, left lane taken out. They should be wrapping that up within the next half hour as well. Let's check in with the WTIC Weather Center.
Sunshine and breezy for the rest of the afternoon. We're up around 60, definitely feeling more like fall out there today. Tonight, mostly clear. A little bit on the cold side, down to 31, so there will be a freeze in many locations. Record low 29, set back in 1989. Then for tomorrow, mostly sunny, the high up to 61. Certainly would be pretty nice in the afternoon. And then partly cloudy tomorrow night, down to 46. A little bit nicer on Saturday, at least the temperature's up a little bit, with clouds and summer up to 67. We'll be watching a tropical wind and rainstorm moving up from the south as we head into Sunday. That's likely to bring some rain by the afternoon. It's going to be windy as well, especially as you head closer to the coast. High Sunday, 61. More rain at times, the gusty wind as we head into Sunday night and Monday. Monday's high 59, and then we should start to dry out as we head toward the middle of next week. This is John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, Wall Street, the Dow down 318 points. NASDAQ's down 64. S&P is down 29. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Slow? Clogged? Backed up? Don't worry. ALO Home Services has you covered. For only $93, our technician will clear any drain in your home. And if it can't be cleared, it's free. Call for details. License number HIC 628926, P102776688, S10.
Thank you, Joseph. I knew I got it wrong, but I appreciate you making it clear. I knew I had it wrong. Thank you, Paul Anka.
Carbone's Kitchen is now open for lunch at noon. Sink your teeth into the Franklin Ave Chicken Panini with grilled chicken, pesto, and fresh mozzarella on toasted sourdough. Or savor our short rib grilled cheese with tender short rib, melty fontina, and garlic aioli. For a lighter option, try our salmon, tenderloin, or chicken with choice of 2 fresh sides. And of course, all our pasta is made fresh daily on our machine imported from Italy. Carbone's Kitchen. Italian comfort reimagined. And now Carbone's Prime is open for lunch too. See our menus at carboneskitchen.com.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected. Also, you forgot to renew your website domain, and now you're in a bidding war.
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room, and now everything smells weird.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication on your accounts, report phishing, and update your software on all your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. So stay smart, stay safe, and stay protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK. Terms do apply.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to Joey V in YouTube in the chat room. He says, I'm sorry, but the Times of Your Life is Paul Anka and not Neil Sedaka. And I knew I had it wrong. That's why I said, it was like, who was it, Neil Sedaka? I knew that I was wrong as soon as I said it. Paul Anka did not come to my mind. He should have. And thank you. And I confuse Sedaka and Anka the same way that I confuse Engelbert Humperdinck with Wayne Newton when I'm not thinking. I know they don't even look alike, but I do it all the time. I do it all the time. But I thank you for the correction because I should be accurate. So Joseph, Joey V, I totally appreciate you keeping me up to snuff on that. Let's get to the phones real quick. Paul the chemist in Enfield is on the line. How are you, Paul?
I'm great, Reese Limbaugh. I haven't talked to you in a long time. This is Paul the chemist, the educator, the engineer, and manufacturing. Let me start. You hit the nail on the head. I've been waiting for somebody in the media to say that DEEP, the Department of Environmental, Energy and Environmental Protection, has been mismanaged during the Malloy administration and the Lamont administration. You do not put wind turbines in the middle of the ocean. You do not put them anywhere. You can actually run clean coal and everything when it should be natural gas, period, or waste to energy, okay, or some nuclear. And so you're absolutely on the mark in terms of everything, anything. And ask any mechanic, we will always have gasoline-powered cars because the middle class and the lower class, we are not going to be taking electric buses. And what happened to UTC, Pratt & Whitney, which is now Raytheon, when they had fuel cell buses? Oh, we're going to have fuel cell buses. Where the hell are they?
Yeah.
Okay? Electricity is government control, period.
End of story. You are 100% right. Let me tell you something, Paul. I am doing my best to get in touch with a guy by the name of Michael Lombardi. Are you familiar with him at all?
Did he write something about energy?
No, he is a National Geographic explorer. And I'm trying to get him on that subject alone because he has been doing these reports on YouTube, and I can't get to him. I've sent every message I could, but he's been talking about these wind farms inside the oceans and talks about its environmental impact on anything and everything around them. And I really want him on here because he's the foremost scientist on this. So I was just wondering, just off the cuff, if you might have heard of him. But if anybody does, he's out of Rhode Island. And somebody has sent a video of his to me about 2 weeks ago. And I've done everything I can to reach out to this guy. So I'm asking anyone who knows anyone if they can reach out to this guy. His name is Mike Lombardi. He's a Rhode Island-based diving scientist, technologist, contractor, and a National Geographic explorer. So this guy knows his stuff. And I really want him on there because I want the suits to recognize what this guy knows. So that's pretty much it, Paul. Are you there? Did I lose you?
Okay, well, here's my quick contribution.
Thank you.
I'm working on hydrogen, okay, and energy generated by hydrogen itself, and therefore that will be the next future in 2035. And I will tell you that the Democrats they're haters and hopeless when it comes to energy.
They're missing the bus on it. They're missing the bus on it.
Oh, and also, if you need help relocating to Connecticut, hey, look me up. We want you here. Have a good one.
Thank you, man. You too. I appreciate you, Paul. Thank you so much. This is right in George's wheelhouse. How are you, George?
Oh, that's off.
George?
Hi.
Hey,
Reese.
what? Yes, sir. What's going on?
Yeah. If you go to the website called Real Time Grid.
Okay.
And the upper right-hand corner has 6 months data. I ran 3 years of data for 3 different control areas for wind energy, and it's crap. Wind energy is crap, in a word.
Why do you think they want it so badly, other than the usual nonsense, because it looks good on their resume?
I think a lot of it's made in Japan, not in Japan, but in China anyway.
Yep.
Here's why it's junk power. It rarely gets above 30% generation. It's like owning a car that only goes 20 miles an hour.
Right.
The only time of year where the wind is sufficient is November during the seasonal change between fall and winter. You'll see about a 3-day period when there's a huge wind. That's the only week of the whole year that it's any good.
Wow.
Most of the time, Reese, it runs, like I said, about 30% power, and rarely, like 8 months of the year, it runs 30% power, and that's the time of summer, the summer peak, summer demand.
Yeah.
And also the time of winter demand, when it's needed the most. It's a failure. It runs like at 30% power. When you need it most, it runs at 30% power during summer and winter months.
I think I think aesthetically these guys think it makes them look environmental, and I think that's what it's about. I don't think they know anything about the technology or what the pros and cons of it are. I think they really do think it's just
Reese,
a pet project.
You're talking to a statistician who worked in the electric power industry for 46 years.
Damn.
And I can produce the data. It's in the computer. It's in it's in Excel, and it's right there. All the politicians have to do is run the graphs on that site. It'll give you, like I said, real-time grid. Anybody can cross-reference that.
Yeah.
And it shows you all the data of all the power in the 48 states. Yeah. Everything for by the hour, by the day.
I got to get to some news, George, but thank you, man. I appreciate you calling back in, and of course, after the chemist called in. Let me get to some headlines. Hartford nonprofit that has been named in the federal investigation involving Senator Doug McCrory has informed the Connecticut Freedom of Information Commission that, for all intents and purposes, is shutting down and is not in a position to defend its decision not to release records that would provide clarity about the organization's spending decisions. Blue Hills Civic Association is unable to dedicate the necessary resources or personnel to effectively participate in the Freedom of Information Commission's proceedings at this time. This according to Lauren Gambardella, the organization's former attorney. She wrote that Friday to the state watchdog agency that can compel the release of records if determined to be public. Gambardella said that she was sending a letter as a courtesy to her for her former client, which is Blue Hills. It's currently facing severe operational challenges and is currently in the midst of an extensive financial audit. And for all intents and purposes, the agency is shut down. The letter continued. It's in all the hoopla about the Connecticut Sun possibly moving to Boston or Hartford in the city, creating positive interest for the team, people are asking. It could be because the Sun has averaged 8,653 fans for their home games, and that's up 2.4% from last season. Connecticut last year averaged 8,451 per game a year ago, which is ranked 9th in the WNBA. Many outlets are also reporting that the league might be backing down from any deal to send the Connecticut Sun to Boston. It is official. Speaking with sports, congratulations to Turning Point USA. As an answer to the NFL's decision to have reggaeton artist Bad Bunny perform at its halftime show at the Super Bowl, Turning Point USA is having its own All-American halftime show that is going to air in, I guess, in lockstep with, or at least at the same time. I have a poster of it right here. Where the heck is it? I thought I had it. There it is. Their All-American halftime show, which will be airing on February 8th of 2026. They call it Celebrating Family, Faith, and Freedom. And you can go to TPUSA if you want to find out how you can watch it as well. And now for the stupidest thing I read today.
Do I look that stupid? Yes, you do. Stupid as can be.
This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Within a day of Salisbury shoppers complaining about a frozen shrimp label bearing a federally mandated Gulf of America place name at the LeBon's Market, they had to have it changed. Now, this is a ridiculous story, folks. This is a ridiculous story. A concentrated outcry in Salisbury came as a result of a Sharon resident and political organizer named Jill Drew writing about the shrimp label in her twice-per-week email blast called Today's Action, which reaches hundreds of subscribers across the region. The outrage stems from President Trump's January executive order to rename the body of water from the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Only federal agencies, she writes, within the U.S. are legally bound to use the title. Even so, the day that the complaints came into the store and had the distributor print blank labels to cover the ones that were already still in the aisle. The new labels, which are circulating now, eliminated the Gulf of America, titled simply as Product of the USA to indicate its origin. Salisbury resident Amy Lake, who was the first to bring the issue to Drew's attention, said that she was surprised to see what she saw as a national overreach showing up in LeBron's grocery store, which is a cherished community business. And they are. We love them there. They, of course, have helped our friends over at Friendly Hands Food Bank. Lake said that she was kind of shaken, come on, by what she saw as jingoism in the aisle and moved to act. She emphasized that the residential voice and consumer choice are the tools of democracy. No, dear, we call this extortion. That's what we call this. You could have simply just, voted with your pocketbook and not purchased or gone there. But the demand that a company change the name of its product because you didn't like it. You were probably the same people who were outraged when Target took down its Pride bathing suits with the little tuck action in it. You're probably upset. I can't believe they made them do that. You were probably all upset, right? And then turned around and did the same thing, hypocrite. Yeah, this is an act of courage to speak out as a public citizen, to say this doesn't fly here, she said, expressing her gratitude for all of the other shoppers who made their opinions known. Other shoppers, ladies and gentlemen, it was 20 people. It's in the article. You can check it out yourself. They were able to shut this down because they didn't like the Gulf of America being on the label. And they're calling that jingoistic. Again, did it affect the shrimp in some sort of way? I mean, what I would love to know is if the individual was buying shrimp when they saw the label. Like when they saw the shrimp there and they said, oh, Gulf of America, I can't eat that shrimp now. Traumatized. Really? I'm always fascinated by these people. So, I thank the folks over at LeBon's for not getting in the fray, and they shouldn't. Look, we're just a grocery store. We're not trying to get into that whole political thing. Like, we just want to serve our customers. We want them to be happy. They love us here. We love them. We love the business that they give us. And it was a wise move on their part. It's like, look, of course, we don't want to offend anybody. But on the opposite side of that, and this is no slight on them, there's a form of bullying going on here. Just a little bit. Just saying. Not like those folks over at Newtown. Oh, baby, did I get some juicy info on them. And not just the stuff that I got just a little while ago. I got some really, really juicy stuff on them. And when I get to Connecticut, Newtown, you guys are going to get a visit from me. Just letting you know, we're going to have boots on the ground in Newtown. We're going to have cameras rolling, and we are going to get to the bottom of this obvious racial, sexist, bigoted nonsense that's happening in Newtown. And we understand that people won't act because they're afraid, and I get why they're afraid. I know the sister girls out there got you shook. You know what I'm saying? Them sister girls got there. They're probably flicking their weaves, talking mad smack with their Kool-Aid lipstick. Whatever it is that those sister girls are doing, we got you covered. We're coming to the rescue, Newtown. We're coming to the rescue. Don't worry about it. You understand that? It's Reese on the Radio, defending the salt of the earth. The Connecticut white woman. You don't have to be afraid no more. I understand them sister girls got y'all shook. I understand you guys don't adhere. They will send you Ebony and Essence magazines. They will end up in your mailboxes, and you don't want any of that. So you will kneel before Zod. I get it. I totally get it. But don't worry, we're coming to the rescue. We're going to do things in there to set the record straight and let people know that bullying will never be tolerated in any way. No one is going to get cursed out and threatened. Nobody's going to threaten anybody's children, because that's a no-no. Threatening people's children is a no-no. And I understand these people, and it shows you exactly how sick and twisted people are when they will threaten people's kids. And when people get that dangerous, something must be done. Now, I know that there are law enforcement officials out there who probably know that this is happening, and I'm not going to disparage them. I have a lot of respect for our police. You guys run towards danger while other people are running from it. Okay, but if there is bullying happening, if people are being, like socially and extorted or intimidated, that cannot fly. You can do two things at once. You can protect the citizens and maintain a sense of order and integrity while making sure that no one is made to be harassed or intimidated. Just something you could do. Nobody should live under that. And they should be able to go to the powers that be when they are sort of got this boot on their neck, as it were, to be able to come to those in authority and say, hey, enough of this, let's put an end to it. But if you guys aren't going to step up, we'll help. We will help. Now, I know you guys who are officials, I know you didn't ask for this. I know that you did not ask, but the citizens did. And if they can't rely on you, they're just going to have to rely on us. They have to go outside of that. And, you know, when we hear that call, when those people say, hey, Reese, do you think you can help us? And I start looking at the stuff and finding out what's going on, and I start reading the text messages. Some very, very alarming stuff I'm reading by these individuals. Somebody's got to step up. Okay? So, ladies, just so you know, just give it some time. Reese on the Radio's on the way. And we bring in Mark in West Hartford, so if you think I'm bad, you don't know nothing yet. That guy, are you kidding me? That guy's a pit bull. We'll do all of that and much, much more. Stand by. What do we got coming up? It is, as I said, is it me, or do you think that every Connecticut Democrat, did you think of every Connecticut Democrat when you watched the Katie Porter video? We're going to play that audio for you when we get back. It is alarming what that woman, like the stuff that's coming out about her, but this particular video is so indicative of Connecticut politics. We'll play that when we return. Stand by. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
I'm elder law attorney Haley Allaire. Our greatest reward is happy clients telling us that they're very thankful for our help.
Hi, I'm Mark, and my family's from Bristol. Allaire Elder Law met my #1 goal when I decided to work with them, to make sure my parents and their assets were protected legally so they can enjoy the rest of their time together and not worry about becoming one of the Title 19 horror stories. And our family cannot thank them enough.
Find out more at allaireelderlaw.com. That's ALLAIRE.
Hey y'all, this is Maggie Freeling, host of the new podcast, Up and Vanish Weekly. Tune in each week as Payne Lindsay and I are joined by other true crime experts to take a fresh look at some of the most puzzling crimes and shine a spotlight on the cases that have stumped investigators for far too long. So go right now and search Up and Vanish Weekly in your podcast app to follow the show. Listen for free wherever you get your podcasts.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080.
Fall is here, and the bees are buzzing. Keep your home cozy with a heating tune-up from Call the Bee. Your system will thank you when the cold nights roll in. Need something bigger? We've got you covered with free estimates on HVAC replacements and financing options to make upgrading easy. Visit callthebee.com. That's calltheletter.B.com to schedule. Call the Bee Connecticut. Plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical professionals. We'll be there, and we'll be fair.
Hennion and Walsh was made for people like you. People who value speaking to the right people at the right time. That's why we answer the phone ourselves, to understand you and help you.
I'm texting back and forth with Michael Lombardi right now.
We're Hennion and Walsh. And
Michael Lombardi.
Oh, word? He
Call
reached out to you?
800-279.
Yeah, I'm texting back and forth with him, but I'm trying to figure out if he's going to come on.
Asset management.
Right now, he says he wants to consider it, but my work schedule is very complicated, so it can be difficult to accommodate these things.
Okay, that's not a problem. If he needs to, tell him he can. You can give him my number.
We'll have the forecast details.
Yeah, I'm waiting on his response, then I'll say, hey, here's Reese number.
How the hell did he find you?
I found him.
Oh, you looked him up? Okay, no doubt.
In exchange for Palestinian prisoners. Breakthrough was greeted with joy and relief Thursday.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is an Emmy Award-winning producer right there. That's the man right there.
Broader peace plan, but the hope is that hostages will be released possibly as early as Monday or Tuesday. President Trump, during a cabinet meeting today, said they're working on plans for him to visit the region at some point. Investigations continuing into the discovery of human remains in New Britain. The find made Wednesday when police answered a call around 1 on Clark Street at an abandoned property about suspicious activity. Officials say the remains were found in a container in the backyard. Police in New Haven say a 20-year-old man's in the hospital following a shooting late last night. 20-year-old victim sustained a non-life-threatening leg wound. Police investigating that shooting. They believe it happened in the Level and Lodge Street areas of the city. Lawmakers openly venting their frustration as they try to gain traction to end the government shutdown. Groups of lawmakers have tried to brainstorm ways out of the standoff that for 9 days has shuttered government offices and kept hundreds of thousands of federal employees at home and threatened their pay. Department of Energy and Environmental Protection issuing an advisory to homeowners about bears again. TEEP says the animals are fattening up for the winter and are looking for food. The department advises not making it easy for them by ditching bird feeders and not intentionally leaving food out that the critters can get at. WTIC news time is 3:32 from the WTIC 24-hour traffic network. We are looking at just some leftover road work in some areas of the listening area. We do have that crash also to report down in Meriden, still working it on the Wilbur Cross Parkway in the area of 64A there. That was a 3-vehicle crash that was working on the Wilbur. Let's get a look at the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
Sunshine and breezy for the rest of the afternoon. We're up around 60, definitely feeling more like fall out there today. Tonight, mostly clear. A little bit on the cold side, down to 31, so there will be a freeze in many locations. Record low 29, set back in 1989. Then for tomorrow, mostly sunny, the high up to 61. Certainly will be pretty nice in the afternoon. And then partly cloudy tomorrow night, down to 46. A little bit nicer on Saturday, at least the temperature's up a little bit, with clouds and summer up to 67. We'll be watching a tropical wind and rainstorm moving up from the south as we head into Sunday. That's likely to bring some rain by the afternoon. It's going to be windy as well, especially as you head closer to the coast. A high Sunday, 61. More rain at times, the gusty wind as we head into Sunday night and Monday. Monday's high 59, and then we should start to dry out as we head toward the middle of next week. This is John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow's down 302 points, NASDAQ down 43, S&P's down 23. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic a part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, ShopRite, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
He's a world arm wrestling champion, Michael Todd.
I'm globally known as Monster Michael Todd. I'm 52 years old. I've won 23 world titles and 36 national titles.
This tough guy never backs down, but a horrible bicep injury almost ended his career. Enter QC Kinetics and life-changing regenerative treatments.
Most people thinking that I'd never be able to compete again. Within 8 months, I became number 5 overall in the world. Now I'm marching towards that number 1 spot.
So how did he do it?
I'm a big regenerative medicine kind of guy. Once I found out about QC Kinetics, I wanted to try their protocol.
Those treatments use a patient's own orthobiologics concentrated and placed into the troubled area to help heal and restore the damage. No scalpels or harmful meds, just long-term relief.
QC Kinetics definitely have helped me be able to live this dream and be able to do what I want to do and continue to do it for a lot more years.
When the others say, time for surgery, you're finished. Not so fast. Call QC Kinetics. The consultation's totally free.
Call QC Kinetics. 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved solved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-473-9933. 800-473-9933. 800-473-9933.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
At California Psychics, we know that when you haven't found love, it feels like everyone else has. Every movie has a love interest. Every song is a love song. Where are all the songs about cats or the joy of early bedtimes? And of course, the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to help you find the one. We connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So, you could be feeling all lovey-dovey real soon. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack
John
can strike
Beckman.
anywhere, anytime.
You just finished listening to them
Be
bigots in
prepared
California?
with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Ooma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at
I
just
see you laughing, but that's
$19.95
not
per
a
month
no.
per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a construction loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
I don't want to say anything, but it's our birthday. I'm sure you knew that already, and I'm sure you've got a wonderful present. 100 years, by the way.
Yeah, we need to work on that. Let me go to the phones real quick before I go to this Katie Porter thing. Rob, you're back again. Please tell me why.
Yes, Reese. I just want to give you some advice, if you don't mind.
I do. Stop. I do. I mind entirely. I mind entirely. I'm going to stop. Rob, I'm going to stop you. I mind entirely. You said, I'm going to give you some advice if you don't mind. I mind. Stop.
Okay.
Let me try this. Let me try this. I'm not going to shout. I'm not going to shout over you. Let me try this. Okay? You're just going to show me respect. Okay? All right? And we're just going to do it this way. Okay. This show isn't for you anymore. It just isn't. And I understand that you're trying to be the most popular person to call in radio shows, but don't use my show for your own personal accolades. Go get a show. So I'm going to ask you, to be honest with you, please stop interrupting the flow of my program. And have a nice day. Okay? And you can complain to everybody you want to.
You may lose
Contact.
your career over Newtown.
I'm sorry?
How about if you lose your career over Newtown? I don't know what the situation is out there, to be honest
So,
with
okay,
you.
it's none of your business, and if you don't care, that's fine. But I think I'm making this abundantly clear. I'm making it abundantly clear, Rob, that this show isn't for you anymore.
Good luck, though.
All right,
Good luck,
you have a
though. I
wonderful
appreciate
life. Thank you.
it. And I listen to
Say
you.
goodbye.
Goodbye. Adios.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've done my very, very best, and I'm trying. And I know it's going to come off as arrogant, as many of my detractors often say, but truth be told, it is not about Rob. It is not about Tim. It is not about these people who are trying to get their 15 minutes of fame, which is far over. My show isn't that anymore. Whatever it used to be, those days are dead. Or they're dead. I'm sorry, they just are. Okay, and I'm done with the distractions. Just done. I just want to do my show. I want to entertain. I want to enlighten. I want to inform. That's all I want to do. Okay? And I've catered enough. And that ends today. Okay? Now we're just going to do the show. So I appreciate you. Okay? For those of you who listen. And those of you who have ridden with me. So again, let's start over. Clean slate. Now.
Boom.
For those of you who know Katie Porter and have followed this for a long time, you know that this woman has been very bombastic, but you haven't really seen her sort of express what you've heard in the news as of late. It's blown up because she's running for governor of California, fourth largest. It's really the fifth largest economy in the world. It's got the largest populace, but losing populace every day. And she's going to be no different than Gavin Newsom when he runs in 2028. If she would have ever become governor of California, nothing will be different. The only difference between the two of them is there'll be a skirt occasionally worn in the governor's mansion. That's about it. But their policies will be the same, and they will be just as inept. But if there is one thing that you can know about Katie, and you can all identify with it, is what politicians are like when they are forced, made to answer to the people and to the press, which is why you never see these folks do the true one-on-one. It is always done in polite company. It is always done with their friends and brethren in the news media, why they never will face the true challenge of answering questions that they're not comfortable with. Because they are not politicians. They are actors. They think that they are in Hollywood. They think that every place that they go should be a puff interview, tapping them on the back or the backside, telling them how fantastic they are. And the person interviewing them is so grateful that you would ever adorn us with your presence. So I'm not jealous of the people who get access. I know who they are. And I just want to know, if I may, what flavor chapstick do you put on as you kiss these folks' asses? That's all I want to know. I want to know the real questions. So, that being said, what did Katie Porter do? For those of you who don't know, here it is.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, man?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. You think you'll get 60%. Everybody who did not vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're thinking.
In a general election, yes. If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win the people who did not vote for Trump.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
Now, that's an interesting part, right? She says that people who voted for Donald Trump clearly won't vote for her, but all of the Democrats. Now, again, that shows you exactly how out of step she is. She says if she's running against a Republican, she's got every Democrat locked. Like, there's no way that a Democrat, under Gavin Newsom, with everything that he's been able to destroy in California, she's still certain that she's got it locked up. Like, what do you not understand, woman? Are you kidding me? It's Donald Trump. And it's me, Katie. Everybody loves me. Yes, I know that I threw some hot potatoes on my ex-husband that scolded him on his head. Yes, but nobody cares about that stuff. Yes, I know I cursed out my staffer live during a conversation on a Zoom conversation with Jennifer Granholm at the Department of Energy, but yeah, nobody cares about that. I've berated people, and I've made racial comments to staff members and other people, but it's California. It's one-party rule, baby. I'm a Democrat. They're going to vote for me anyway because what else would they do?
Not vote for Trump.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
I don't intend that to be the case.
So how do you not intend that to be the case? Are you going to ask them not to run?
No, I'm saying I'm going to build the support. I have the support already in terms of name recognition. And so I'm going to do the very best I can to make sure that we get through this primary in a really strong position. But
Now, she believes, again, while she's giving this answer, there should be no follow-ups, even though the reporter's like, what you're talking about is absolute nonsense. It's clairvoyance without true vision. There's no way you could be that certain. How do you think this is going to happen? That's why she's asking these follow-ups.
let me be clear with you. I represented Orange County. I represented a purple area. I have stood on my own 2 feet and won Republican votes before. That's not something every candidate in this race can say. If you're from a deep blue area, if you're from LA or you're from Oakland, you don't have an experience.
But you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
But you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't
I
think
feel
you
like
need
this
them
is
to win.
unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
The question is the same thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not
Correct. And I said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters, okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Thank you.
She understood right in that moment. Not that she had stepped in it, that she wasn't making any sense. And that's the reason why she called it, because she knew, yeah, this interview is going to make me look bad. So she wanted to call it, she wanted to tank it, but she was already in too deep. And the cameras are rolling. She was the one being combative. The journalist, and I don't even know who that woman is, never, ever escalated. She kept her cool. I mean, this consummate professional here did not lose her cool. Even when she said, that's it, I'm going to call it. She's throwing a tantrum. Listen to the reporter.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Every other candidate has answered.
I don't
our
care.
follow-ups.
I don't care. I want to have a pleasant, positive conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And
Porter,
we're just going to circle around.
So again, follow-up questions can't be asked to Kim Porter. This is all sounding familiar to you? This is the reason why these folks never sit down and answer any tough questions with any tough journalists at all. When have you seen it? Have you looked around? Just find it. Just find it. And I text these people all the time. By the way, John Larson, Charlie, your guy who sent out the press release that John Larson wanted to talk about the government shutdown. I texted you. What happened? Why is John Larson not available all of a sudden? I haven't heard back. I text you personally on your phone. Called you even. What happened? I thought you guys wanted to talk about the government shutdown. Oh, did you find out that I was a black conservative? And you say, John may not be able to handle that. And therein lies the problem. He can't hire it. Now, I would go so far, like, if this were, me in the backyard, in Hollis, Queens, I would just call you a sucker. You're too scared. You guys are a bunch of wimps. You can't even come onto a conservative talk show. You got everything in the world to say about the Schumer shutdown. How it's not your fault. How it's the Republicans. Well, good. If you're so certain of yourself, why don't you come on a conservative talk show to answer? Why not? Why not answer the tough questions? What, because you're not going to come in here and bloviate? Because you're not going to be able to come over here and just keep rambling on a bunch of nonsense? Is that the reason why? I don't understand it. You sent out a press release. The weird part is that I noticed it didn't come here. It didn't come to WTIC. Whom else did you not send it to? Or did you just text it to your friends and family? Is that who you sent it to? Because we haven't heard from John Larson, and it's not like we haven't called several times. We have, but we got nothing. And I find it odd. It's just weird. Government shutdown, I'm sure you care about conservatives who are going to be suffering in the shutdown. Some of those folks might be impacted by the government shutdown. Don't you want to reach those people? Or do you only want to talk to folks who no one's listening to? That's all I'm saying. Anyway, we'll come back. More news, more views, and your phone calls when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Life unfolds in ways you can never quite expect. A divorce, a death in the family, a personal injury. Each time you are left searching for someone new to trust. But what if you had a full-service law firm that knows you and a firm that can represent your legal needs? With BPS,
Damn, he must really be busy.
More than a lawyer.
I left your number and told him
BPS.
He could reach out to you.
Lawyer.
He wants to talk about subject matter or anything else.
Partner of Yukon Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearest is responsible for the content of this ad.
The dog days of summer are fading quickly. Hurry to get this limited-time preseason offer. Call ALO Home Services today and take advantage of their $99 heating system check special. Prevent costly and inconvenient breakdowns backed by a worry-free, no-breakdown guarantee. Call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO, licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P1027768, S1041.
All right, Keith. Good to hear.
S3308-699, SM3004646.
I'm not going to lie. I wasn't the biggest fan of Guinness, but whenever I had one, what was the way that they described it? He said it was like eating a meal. That's what he said. That's my friend Kieran and my friend Stanley he's from Derry. And he used to say, Guinness. So he said, you're crazy. That's like eating a meal.
On top of what you already owe. Call Priority Tax Relief now. Their experts fight back fast and are saving their clients millions in tax debt every month.
I owed over $50,000, and they settled it for pennies on the dollar. These guys are as legit as they come.
After speaking on my behalf with the IRS, my entire debt of $25,000 will be eliminated.
Whether you've received collection letters or you're already facing liens and garnishments, call for your free consultation. There are no upfront fees. Priority Tax Relief. Let's make your taxes our priority. Call 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584.
Priority Tax Relief.
House it's a nightmare that's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. Scan and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now. Promo code RADIO.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We're back. We got traffic and weather coming up shortly, and we don't have anybody off today, right? We got all the regular people on traffic. I don't even get my alerts anymore. I gotta look up who's in when. I'm just absolutely spitballing on who's in charge here. Anyway, let's get to. I'll take one more. Let's go, Steve in South Windsor. Hello, Stevie.
Hello, Reese. I caught you finally. I have John Larson walks by my house when he's not on Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
I'm asking your permission. Maybe I'm going to put a little sign toward the street because he looks toward my house.
Okay.
And say, give Reese a call, John.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in a beef with him because, he's sort of my neighbor down the road.
You know what? If he does drive by, you should put a sign. It's like,
He walks by. He does a power walk when he's not on Capitol Hill.
Really?
He's on the phone, and he does a power walk every day by my house, 2 times a day when he's not out there in Washington.
Well, look, there are a couple of issues that he has injected himself into. He's holding town halls on the government shutdown, and of course, he's one of the people who claims he visited the owner of the car wash that illegally hired illegals to work there, saying that he visited them, and he seems to be very, very strong-willed about ICE and their involvement in the arrest of 7 people there. So we'd like to talk to him about it but we want him to go in a less, as he would put it, less friendly place. I want him to at least hear from some other people who think differently than he does. And he seems to, from the conversation he had with Mark Walsh, he said that, look, that's what makes America great, that we have difference of opinion. So good. If we do, come on the show. You have my permission. Say, John,
Okay.
call Reese on the radio.
I know he looks over toward my house and waves to me. I don't want to get in a beef with him because of being a neighbor. But I will put a little sign out there. Please talk to Reese, and he'll know what that means.
Okay. Good. He will. Thank you, man.
Love you, Reese.
Love
Bye.
you. Thank you. Love you, too. Hey, anything will work. Anything will work. As long as, all I want to do is have a conversation. I want to know what all of the screaming and the rabble-rousing is. Look, if you don't believe me, go back and listen to my conversation with Josh Elliott. What did he admit when he was put to task? When he said that Trump has supporters who are trying to take away basic freedoms. And I asked him, are you saying that we want our own freedoms to be taken away from us? Are you saying, what did he do? What happens when he was challenged? He knows it isn't true. He knows it's rhetoric. And when you push back on that, what do they do? Well, it's like, what? It's just a difference of opinion. Can it just be a difference of opinion? Does it really mean that what we want to do is take away not just you think we're taking away your freedoms, you think that our freedoms are not in jeopardy as well? Of course they know that. So when you actually when they have to deal with the rhetoric that they spew, what happens? Well, I didn't really mean that. Then why are you saying it? Because if the truth is that the folks that you are trying to, engender or find some sort of alliance with, if you're doing it to rile them up, that means you're lying. And that's far worse than the fact that you're defaming us. You're lying to the people who are going to support you. And that doesn't make for a good politician, and it definitely doesn't make for good voting. So that's the only point I'm trying to make here. Push back on those folks. That's why they don't show up where, places like this and others. Because they can't defend where they stand. And they know it. Let's get our first check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. I'm not going in that road today. Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm good, Reese. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, if you're heading in toward Hartford right now, things overall in pretty good shape. Southbound 91 just a little slow, 33 down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28. Again, some slow traffic, 19 down to 17 for the Wilbur Cross Parkway. Northbound 91 slowing now as you approach the Middletown Rest area. Sluggish up to exit 22. The Route 9 interchange in Cromwell. After that, easy ride Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slowing just after 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound delays 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel. 291 384 okay. 2 eastbound moving while Glastonbury into Marlboro. 9 northbound, you've got delays Harbor Park up to the Irrigoti Bridge. 84 westbound, slow traffic approaching 26 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound slowing approaching 17 out to 23 in Waterbury. If you're on the southbound side of the parkway, look for delays approaching 50 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound delays 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Sunshine and breezy for the rest of the afternoon. We're up around 60. Definitely feeling more like fall out there today. Tonight, mostly clear. A little bit on the cold side, down to 31, so there will be a freeze in many locations. Record low 29, set back in 1989. Then for tomorrow, mostly sunny, the high up to 61. Certainly would be pretty nice in the afternoon. And then partly cloudy tomorrow night, down to 46. A little bit nicer on Saturday, at least the temperature's up a little bit, with clouds and summer up to 67. We'll be watching a tropical wind and rainstorm moving up from the south as we head into Sunday. That's likely to bring some rain. By the afternoon, it's going to be windy as well, especially as you head closer to the coast. A high Sunday, 61. More rain at times, the gusty wind as we head into Sunday night and Monday. Monday's high, 59. And then we should start to dry out as we head toward the middle of next week. This is John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
4 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. President Trump today hailing Phase 1 of his Gaza peace plan.
We reached a momentous breakthrough in the Middle East, something that people said was never going to be done.
Stacey Lynn is in Washington.
President Trump says we ended the war in Gaza and even bigger created
everlasting peace. Peace in the Middle East.
The deal calls for Hamas to release all remaining hostages, which the president says will happen.
They should be released on Monday or Tuesday.
And he expressed gratitude to the countries which helped achieve this.
To the leaders of Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey for helping us reach this incredible day.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
Trump says he'll try to get to the region next week, perhaps, for the signing of the deal. Israelis are celebrating the news. Correspondent Christopher Cruz, though, says Palestinian activists are withholding judgment for now.
Families of the hostages began gathering in Hostages Square in Tel Aviv in the early hours on Thursday.
Thank you, Trump! Thank you, USA! We love you!
The deputy director of the Council on American Islamic Relations, Edward Ahmed Mitchell, says he's waiting to see if Israel abides by the agreement.
We're cautiously optimistic while keeping in mind the fact that the Israeli government violated the last ceasefire agreement that the president helped to secure when he first took office.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
An expert at UConn says the ceasefire has a good chance of success, but achieving the broader goal of peace in the Middle East could be way down the road. Political science professor Jeremy Pressman adds that the damage in Gaza is beyond extensive.
And just clearing the amount of rubble in Gaza would take years and years. So if we move towards a more stable, permanent resolution in Gaza, and that's a huge if, there's still an incredible amount that would have to be done, years and years, to deal with the destruction of these past 2 years.
He also says the deal leaves Benjamin Netanyahu short of his plan to eliminate Hamas, and that Hamas or something like it will always exist until there's a political solution between both sides. Police in New Britain continue their investigation into the discovery of human remains found in a large container behind an abandoned building. The find was made at 80 Clark Street. Police say that container in the backyard along a fence line had what appeared to be the remains in it. State police are assisting in that investigation. The medical examiner's office working to identify that person. State Department of Housing has awarded $4.5 million in funding to support cold weather emergency support services for the upcoming winter. This is Deputy Commissioner Julian Pierce.
Since 2019, we've expanded shelter capacity, strengthened our coordinated access networks, and prioritized rapid rehousing and permanent supportive housing.
Last winter alone, Pierce says DOH funding helped 5,000 individuals find shelter. Well, after undergoing a multi-million-dollar facelift, the former XL Center and newly named People's Bank Arena in downtown Hartford just about ready to reopen. Eric Hansen is the Vice President of Business Operations for the Hartford Wolfpack.
Probably one of the busiest off seasons we've had with, the renovation side of things, and then new ticketing system, new naming rights deal for the building. So it was a busy off season, so we're really excited to start getting the games going.
Reopening set for October 17th when the Wolfpack plays its home opener after kicking off the season this weekend on the road. The renovations include a new concourse, 5,000 new lower bowl seats, and an event level club. Wall Street, the Dow down 243 points, NASDAQ off 18, S&P down 18. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Another summer over. You may have noticed that your energy is lower. Your workouts aren't as productive. Perhaps you aren't sleeping as well and feel foggy all the time. Maybe even your sex drive is off. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're experiencing some or all of these symptoms, it's likely you have low testosterone. And if that's what's going on with you, don't wait. You need to call us at Northeast Men's Health and get treated for your low T. Because living with low testosterone is no way to live. With our low T treatments, if you're like most guys, your life will change considerably. Improved sleep, better energy, greater gains in the gym, better mental clarity, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. Plus, most men see these results else in just a few weeks. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes PSA and T-tests and a medical consult. And if you start treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmen's.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We got some news.
Savory, flavory, bagel, deli, and bakery. Between rounds, between rounds, between rounds.
Congratulations to Joel C. in Wethersfield. He is today's recipient of a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the bagel, bakery, and sandwich cafe located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester. And starting now until infinity, if you go down to Between Rounds and go pick up a Becca sandwich, that is a bacon, egg, cheese, chipotle mayo by Hellman's, an avocado sandwich on a bagel. It is a bacon, egg, cheese, chipotle mayo, avocado bagel. They will donate 50 cents for each one sold to the Connecticut Food Share. That is absolutely cool. And it was inspired by your very own Reese on the Radio. They told me I could say that. That's their line, not mine. That the Reese on the Radio peanut butter and jelly sandwich, remember that? That's what inspired them to do this. So now, if you go pick up the Becca, which is, again, called the bacon, egg, and cheese, chipotle mayo, and avocado bagel, if you go pick that up, then 50 cents for every purchase will go to the Connecticut Food Share. And the reason why I think that he was inspired, Jerry Puya was inspired because of the whole license plate thing. And he said, doing the thing as we were doing with Friendly Hands Food Bank, this was, of course, something we could do for Food Share, because Food Share actually helps out all of them instead of like they're all together. So he wanted to do something and wants to continue to give, and Food Share was something he felt that needed that help, and so that's what we're doing. And this is, near and dear to me, as I always tell you folks as a kid growing up, teenager, homeless, struggling to eat. I had to pack groceries at the supermarket in order to make change so I can feed myself each day. So if there's anybody who knows about hunger and being homeless, I do. And so I'm glad that Jerry Puya and the family at Friendly Hands Food Bank, I love them all. Glad they're doing this. So go help them out. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's at the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, man.
All right. Thank you very much, Reese. Well, if you're heading into Hartford on the southbound side of 91, look for slow traffic from exit 33 down to 32 A and B. Another bump down by exit 28. You'll slow again for approaching 19 to 17 in Meriden. On the northbound side of 91, look for slow traffic 20 up to 22 with the Route 9 interchange. After that, moving well. Cromwell up through downtown, up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush, 84 eastbound.
What's up, Max?
Oakwood into the tunnel. 291 through 84, okay. 2 westbound slowing from 1D up to the 84 West merge. 9 northbound is slowing Harbor Park up to the Aragordy Bridge. Westbound 84 is tied up from exit 25A up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. Eastbound 84 slowing 17 out to exit 23 in Waterbury. If you are traveling southbound on the Parkway, delays approaching exit 50 down into the West Rock Tunnel. If you're 95 South New Haven, slows 46 down to 43 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
We'll have sunshine out there for the rest of the afternoon. Breezy, definitely feeling more like fall. We'll only top out pretty close to 60 this afternoon. Then a cold night tonight. It looks like there will be a freeze in many locations. Freeze warning in effect out of 31. Record low 29, so we'll challenge that. That was set back in 1989. And sunshine for tomorrow after a chilly start. Pretty nice in the afternoon. Up to 61. And then intervals of clouds and sunshine for Saturday. Up to 67. Right now it's 59 in New Britain, 58 in Plainville, and it's 57 in Hartford. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
Tune in to WTIC News Talk 1080 for Healthy Rounds, Saturday mornings 11 till noon. Learn from the top experts about the latest medical news and call in with your questions. Healthy Rounds, sponsored by Hartford Healthcare, Saturday mornings 11 till noon on WTIC News Talk 1080 and WTIC.com.
Get more than you expect with McValue at McDonald's. Enjoy the little spicy of your hot and spicy McChicken meal deal for only $5 or the McDouble meal deal for only $6. Price participation may vary. Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune into the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Peter L. Brown Roofing is celebrating 65 years of trusted service in Connecticut, and to thank the community, they're giving away a brand new roof valued up to $12,500. Enter for your chance to win an Atlas Pinnacle roofing system with Scotchguard protector from 3M, designed for durability and beauty. Visit odyssey.com/WTICAM to enter today. See website for contest rules. Peter L. Brown Roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
Peter L. Brown, we do it right the first time.
You're listening to Leaf Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We are back. I'll hold off on the calls. You know what? Because if I wait until after, it may go in another direction. Okay. Let's take the calls first. Let's go to Sam in Windsor. Hello, Sam.
Hey, Reese. Sorry I'm going in a little bit of a different direction.
Sure.
I want to just keep you guys up to date on the whole Sean Reyes Long Island thing. Fahey was given 18 months AR, which is accelerated rehabilitation. It's a form of probation.
Okay.
So it's a step in the right direction, I guess.
Okay.
The other thing I wanted to put in your ear is there's a mayor from New Britain who's running for a Republican governor.
Okay.
Aaron Stewart.
Yeah.
Who I really think you should try to get on. I think that
I've tried. I have her contact Rachel's information. I've reached out to them.
Right on. She's done a hell of a job with New Britain. I feel like she could.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Mark's gonna call. He's gonna scream at me. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No. Look, some people do like her. Some people are fascinated with her. I get it. But yeah, I would love to have her on. I'll reach out to Rachel again. I don't think that they, nobody's in any particular rush. They feel like they're just going to skirt by or all that other stuff. If they don't think that I'm necessary to be on their show, I send out a feeler and they'll, if they say yes, they come on. If they don't, we have no harm, no foul. That's all. I've got nothing against her.
I understand. So, one last thing. Yeah. I don't want to give you any advice ever. So have a great day. Be safe.
I take advice. It's a perfectly for that particular individual. It's just kind of, there's been some disrespect in the past, and I've been and no matter what, at the end of the day, I've always been the nice guy, and the disrespect continues, and I'm done with it. Because after a while, you can only come after me so many times. After a while, I just go, you know what? Enough is enough. So it's obviously my kindness is now being taken as weakness, and I have to be a bulldog. I have to be an animal now. So that's the way I look at it.
Totally agreed.
Thank you, man. You got it, man. Let's take Rob in New Britain. I apologize. Hey, Rob.
The rhythm, the rebel. Rolling and Reese on the radio.
How are you, sir?
Let me tell you guys, I love you guys so much. And I love Rowan, and he bowls. I don't know if he's ever been duck pin bowling, too.
You know what? Hold on. I got to stop you. I had never, ever heard of that until I got to Manchester, New Hampshire. I didn't even know that thing exists. I keep forgetting that every chance I get, I have to find a place that has that duck bowling thing. I got to do it.
You got to. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And I was on my high school bowling team, too. I had a chrome yellow bowling ball. This way I could never lose it.
Chrome yellow. I don't think I've ever seen. Now I have to look up that color.
Then later in life, I had my pickup truck painted that color.
Someone may have a favorite color.
Yes. And I was going to say from earlier, my two artists would be Stevie Ray Vaughan and Tina Turner. Those are two of my favorites.
I think you can get Tina Turner's a little tough to get 4 hours out of. So you may have to keep a couple of songs you may have to repeat.
Yeah.
So
and as far as not getting these people on your show, hey Murphy, huh? Hey Dickie, huh? Where are you, huh? Get on the radio, huh?
Now, you know what? It's going to be one of those places where when Reese on the Radio gets to Connecticut, and we start making a whole lot of noise. Not that we haven't made any noise yet, but we start making real big noise. Then it'll be, who's that Reese guy? Trust me. So
and tell Roseanne I'll join her conservative club any day of the week.
You got it. Absolutely. That's what.
Love you guys very much.
Thank you, man. You got it. Okay, it's time. I just really looked at the time, so let me get to it. You know what time it is, folks? It's Thursday.
Negro nonsense.
How dare you?
Negro nonsense.
How dare you?
Negro nonsense.
How dare you?
That's right. In this edition of Negro Nonsense, this one actually is kind of personal to me because a couple of weeks ago, I talked about a documentary that was directed by Chad O. Jackson. And he's already released the first installment of the MLK Project, which you have to purchase to buy. So, of course, I purchased it. And I watched the first episode. It's about 26 minutes long. And he's been putting out these snippets for a little while. And after I talked about it and about the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his Marxist ties, Matty O from Bristol, my good friend, he said, look, I understand where you're coming from, but for the sake of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his legacy, I don't think that you should touch it. And I understood exactly where he was coming from because it is a third rail, especially as it relates to race relations and Black history. But this is one of those things where I'm not doing it for the sake of stepping on a third rail. I'm not doing this for the sake of getting the African-American community upset or starting protests. The only thing I seek is truth. That's more important than anything. And sometimes truth has to be controversial, even though it shouldn't be. It just has to be. Because I'll put it this way before I play the clip. Before I started listening to Chad O. Johnson and other people who had talked about this, I was of the ilk that really believed the nonsense. I considered Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. as one of my heroes. I made that very clear in the beginning of my career. And unfortunately, I've had the wool pulled over my eyes, and now I'm free. Sorry. So I'd like to play this for Matty O. And the reason why I'm playing it is I want you to hear what he says at the end, Chad O. Jackson. And what Chad O. Jackson says at the end, Matt, is for you. Because it speaks to a lot of people who do not want to talk about this truth about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
My generation was robbed of something because of the civil rights movement. If you listen to what he's saying, you realize truly the embittering effect of it. In other words, he's saying things like, the Negro will never be free until justice rolls down like waters. Whenever he says that, he's not talking about biblical justice. He's talking about social justice, which is rooted in Marxism. The only way that the Negro will get ahead in America is through radical wealth redistribution.
Economic power. If the Negro is to gain the economic security that he needs, one of the answers, it seems to me, is a guaranteed annual income.
We need a universal income for all Negroes and poor people. He said this. He's literally touting Marxist rhetoric. He's talking about jobs and he's talking about housing, and he's instilling into blacks this mindset that my having a job and my having a house depends on legislation and what the government does. What's happening is this kind of transition of thought and mindset in the 1960s. And so this is a complete detachment from where blacks were in terms of casting down your bucket where you are. And so it was the rhetoric of King and his contingent that really instilled in blacks this idea of letting your hand off the proverbial plow, picking up your picket sign, and using that as a means of success.
Now, he's not lying here, folks. You've seen it. That has been the mantra of the new civil rights movement, from Black Lives Matter to Al Sharpton to Jesse Jackson. Nothing to do with what? It's everything to do with government and industry giving, not people applying themselves.
Marrying yourself and your fate and your dignity to the government, as opposed to the limbs that God gave you and the mind that God gave you to make your way in this world. 70+% of black children are growing up in single mother households. The crime is out of control, as you said earlier about what the MLK boulevards look like today. Black culture today is considered the laughing stock. Most people won't admit it, but a lot of people feel it. It's considered the laughing stock of the world. It's a gimmick culture. It's an unserious, frivolous culture is what it is. It hasn't always been that way. We were robbed of that dignity that our ancestors had. It wasn't black pride. It was just genuine decency that whites had, that blacks had, that other ethnic groups had, especially as they rooted themselves in the Christian ethic. And so it's interesting.
Now, here's the part that's to you, Matt. Listen closely. Chad O. Jackson is speaking directly to you and those like you who are concerned about exposing this truth.
Whenever I say these things and I deliver the evidence and I show the receipts, most black people have the ear to hear, they listen, they consider, and most people are thankful and grateful for the information. However, there are some who aren't. And what's interesting to me is the white people who aren't. What they'll say is, all these things that you're saying, even if they are true, King still did a lot of good things. He helped bring the races together. He's a good man. It's easy for you to say he did a lot of good things because it makes you feel good about something and it absolves you of something. But you have nothing to be absolved of. You only are responsible for the life that you live. But you can't go on elevating this kind of symbol and not acknowledge all of the ashes that are left in its wake.
And that's the most important part of this, is that there were consequences to this. And as I'm learning more and I'm reading more about this, I'm going, holy crap. Like, I really fell for the proverbial tail in the, what's it, banana in the tailpipe. Because again, it's a romanticized depiction or story of history that you're not supposed to question. And if you do question it, you're beaten down, you're called all types of names. And if you are weak-kneed, you will say, look, I just don't want that kind of heat. I don't want that kind of smoke. Well, folks, you know me. I don't care. I just don't. What I mean by that is I don't care about that. I care about the truth. And that supersedes all of the screaming and the hollering and the being mad. Just what I care about is the truth. And it's not so much about the truth setting you free, because it does, but it isn't about that. It's not about the gimmick of the truth. It isn't about that. It's because I believe that having that knowledge is power. And I think it makes us all powerful. Now I see it. Now that I understand it, I know that the mission that I've been on in my entire life, the way in which I've been doing things, the way that my grandfather taught me, and recognizing that a man who lived in a time where we're supposed to believe he should have been lynched for starting his own business, for serving his community, for living his life, for buying a house, for moving into a community. Those things we're supposed to believe he wasn't allowed to do, but he did them anyway. Why? Why would he do that in a world that, again, was 100% against him, with redlining and racist tropes, just everything it is you heard? But my grandfather bought a home, and we lived in it for over 40 years. 40 years. He continued to pay his mortgage on it until we owned it outright. He owned his own business, a hardware store, a damn big hardware store. Owned it. How did he do that? If those times were far more restless as far as race relations were concerned, how did he do that? And for me to look at my life and go, what do I owe him? Complaining? I owe him saying that the rest of the world has been treating me like I'm garbage? That's what I owe him? I owe him more than that. He achieved it in a time of, he achieved that stuff in a time where, according to folklore, he wasn't supposed to. I would cheapen his legacy by behaving like the rest of these bozos. I would be cheapening his legacy, cheapening my family name. If I were to turn around and go, yeah, it's harder today. God forbid if I ever said that. And to be honest with you, I'm sick and tired of people telling me that. People of my so-called own race telling me that as well. Telling me what I'm supposed to be afraid of. Telling me that I'm supposed to look over my shoulder every day. I ain't selling drugs. I'm not doing anything nefarious. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm doing my job. I refuse to live like that, and I'm not going to have anybody tell me how I'm supposed to live. I'm not going to have anybody tell me that because of my skin color, I'm supposed to move a certain way or act a certain way or the hell talk a certain way. In order for me to be in their good graces, I'm done. So that's why we do what we do here. And for the rest of you, stop feeling guilty about something you're not responsible for. Stop it. You don't owe me. You don't owe anybody nothing. You owe your families, the people you take care of. You owe your job, your careers. Those people you owe, the people who give something, enrich your lives. That's what you owe. Get out of that other nonsense. And I'm telling you, my dying breath, I'll be saying the same thing. And I'll be telling you, continue that message. Go on and live your life. Go on and do what it is that you need to do. Don't let these other fooligans ever make you feel guilty about you just trying to survive and make a good life for you and your family. Don't ever do it. You'll know how I feel about that. Anyway, Lori says, I heard 2 of his videos, spot on both of them. Yeah, they're in fascinating pieces. Fascinating pieces. And if you watch the first, by the way, I implore you, go look it up. The MLK Project, the first episode's out. It's only 26 minutes long. I think the purchase is like $3 or something. If you watch it, it's 26 minutes long. Chad O. Jackson does not do, he doesn't start it with MLK. He starts at the Bible. He talks about, he starts at Nimrod. And I always laugh because I said it was my mom's favorite insult for people. She was like, what are you doing, you Nimrod? And I always thought that was a made-up word. Little did I know. So, go check it out. It's important. We'll be back. More news, more views. Let's get to weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. And John Ferrick, he's got weather today. Hey, Mark.
All right, thank you very much, Reese. Well, this traffic report being brought to you by Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. Eastbound side of 84, look for slow traffic from exit 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley. Westbound 84 tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. Southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Again, a little slow, 27 to 28 in Hartford, and you'll see another slowdown, 19 down to 17 for the Wilbur-Cross Parkway. Northbound side of 91 slowing from 20 Country Club Road up to 22 in the Route 9 interchange. Again, you'll lose some speed, 35 to 36 in Windsor. If you're traveling to westbound, delays 1D up to the 84 West Merge. A little slow, 84 eastbound in East Hartford by exit 3. Traveling into Middletown, 9 northbound heavy approaching the Aragoni Bridge. 9 southbound's a little slow between exit 35 and 33 as you move into Berlin. 84 eastbound in Waterbury delays approaching 17 up to exit 23 in Waterbury. Westbound 84 is tied up 26 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. And 15 southbound, you got delays now from exit, call it 52 down into the West Rock Tunnel, and 95 south delays from 48 in New Haven down to 43 in West Haven. Stuck in traffic again? Don't waste another minute. Columbia Implant Center in Manchester gets you in and out fast. Often in just one day, open 7 days a week. Get your smile back now. Columbia Implant Center, ColumbiaImplantCenter.com. Traffic and...
Hey, Lori, that DePietros that you're talking about, is that owned by the same guy with the same name who used to be on radio?
Sunshine for the rest of the afternoon. Definitely feeling more like fall. Breezy, the high around 60. And clear and cold for tonight. Down to 31, probably just short of the record low of 29. So back in 1989. Then sunshine for tomorrow. A pretty nice afternoon, albeit a little bit on the cool side. The high 61. And Saturday, times of clouds and sunshine. We rebound to 67. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
4:30 Hartford temperature, 56 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Big news today, of course, the peace deal between Hamas and Israel that President Trump is hailing. In its first phases, it'll see hostages in Gaza and prisoners held by Israel released, possibly beginning next.
Oh, no, I got to see that guy.
That 2-year-old war. The UN aid chief says there are hundreds of millions of metric tons of aid ready to flow into Gaza when the word is given. Once the hostages are released, hundreds of trucks could begin coming across the border soon. Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones is asking the Supreme Court to pause the $1.5 billion defamation judgment that was imposed against him for lying that the Sandy Hook school shootings were a hoax. He says failing to do so would mean his InfoWars would be acquired by the satirical news outlet The Onion. State of Illinois urging a judge to order the National Guard to stand down in the Chicago area. State calls the deployment a constitutional crisis and suggests the Trump administration gave no heed to the pending legal challenge. New Britain police continuing that investigation into the discovery of human remains found in a large container behind an abandoned building on Clark Street Wednesday. Chief Medical Examiner's Office is working to identify that person. And the Red Sox say former star outfielder Mike Greenwell has died. The 62-year-old had been battling thyroid cancer. Greenwell spent his entire career with the Sox, made his debut in 1985 as a part-time player. He was on the 1986 pennant winners and finished fourth in Rookie of the Year balloting a year later. Greenwell was elected to the Red Sox Hall of Fame in 2008. Wall Street, the Dow finished down 243 points today. The NASDAQ gave back 18. S&P was also down 18. Thursday night football extravaganza in the Meadowlands. It's Philly and the Giants. 8 o'clock kickoff for that one. NHL tonight, Chicago skates in Boston against the Bruins. Rangers hit the road to Buffalo, and the Isles are in Pittsburgh. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm, I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and here we go. At ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Does anybody know whether or not Barry Weiss has officially begun her job as editor-in-chief at CBS News? I wonder. I haven't really looked that up. I'm going to check it out in a second to see if there have been any changes. No one's really talked about it as of yet. Everybody's still talking about the Katie Porter thing. I don't think that story's got any more legs after this, other than the fact she may drop out, but I don't think there's anything more to it than that. Anyway, go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. Now, why? Why do I say go to reeseontheradio.com? One, it's important to me that you go because I know that you're going there and, you're checking out the show, or that you're checking out the Substack, or you're looking at pictures, or, doing whatever. You're sending me a message, whatever the thing, what might be going on. But it lets me know. I get all the, the analytics on that stuff, and it lets me know that, the website's there and you guys actually care. Also, you can go to between rounds. You can fill out the application there so that you can get a chance to win a dozen bagels a month for 6 months. But join me there specifically for the Substack and, of course, for the podcast. The Substack thing, let me explain that. I write an article every week on Sunday. It usually posts, I want to say, between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. I usually try to keep it right at 7, but if I'm late, it's usually after 8. But I post it there. It's every Sunday. You can also find that on the Connecticut Sentinel's page afterwards. But if you want to, you can subscribe to it, and it'll go right to your email. I try to make it pithy. I try to make it at least 1,000 words. And, it's a good read. And I try to use some of my own logic to explain the subject of the day. So you can check out a bunch of them that I put in there. Some that you may not even be interested in. I say my personal favorite one, if I were to say my personal favorite piece, it's got to be the piece about, gosh, now I'm forgetting the title. How the left lost the working class. That's got to be my favorite piece. Because, of course, I make mention of, the now no longer with us weather guy, Jason Caterina. I don't even know where he is. Has he said hello? Has he called back to say, hey, guys, miss you guys? Not at all, right? No? Okay. I'll reach out to him. But, and, of course, Mark Christopher and Bob Cox are the guys that work here, and I make mention of them and, how they deliver the weather and traffic to you guys all the time. But it's sort of less a breakdown of how people who rely on weather and traffic to get through their daily lives, and how the left sort of chided you for doing those things, making life better for your kids, using gas-powered vehicles, things like that. It's a good read. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, you got to go to reeseontheradio.com, go to Substack, scroll down, you'll see the Substack, and subscribe so that you can get the articles, and you can go back and check out the old ones that are there. So they stay there in perpetuity until, websites no more. But if you'd like to, go check it out. They're all fun reads. I try to make them, again, pithy, interesting, funny, so that you can enjoy them. All right? Do that. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. With, I keep forgetting his name, and now I need to go back up so I can read his name. John Ferry, who's with weather, and Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and to everyone. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of 91 delays 33 to 32, again 27 down to 28. And then you'll see another slowdown approaching 19 to 17 in Meriden for the Wilbercross Parkway. Northbound side of 91 sluggish from 20 up to 22 in the Route 9 interchange. After you get around that, it looks really good as you move Hartford into the North Hartford area, and then you're slow again 35 to 36 in Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 46 Sisson Avenue. Eastbound 84 locked up 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel. Now 2 westbound, you've got delays 1D up to the 84 West merge. 3 southbound is slowing as you approach the Putnam Bridge as you move Glastonbury into Weathersfield. 9 northbound delays Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. If you're heading 84 westbound, look for delays from 37 in Farmington out to 33 in the 72 interchange. Again, a little slow between 33 and 32 in Southington. 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing 17 to 18. Westbound 84 tied up 26 in Cheshire up to the Mixmaster. And if you're heading southbound on the Wilbur-Cross Parkway, look for some delays now from 51 in Hamden down into the West Rock Tunnel. 91 southbound delays from exit 4 down in toward the 95 interchange in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Plenty of sunshine out there this afternoon. A little bit on the breezy side and certainly on the cool side. Only topping out pretty close to 60 this afternoon. And then we'll have a cold night tonight. Freeze warning in effect. We're going to challenge a record low of 29, which was last reached in 1989. Probably fall just short of that, but still very cold night down to 31. And tomorrow, after a chilly start, it'll turn into a pretty nice afternoon, mostly sunny, a high 61. And then Saturday, times of clouds and sunshine, we're up to 67. Right now, it's 54 in Manchester, 55 in Farmington, and it's 57 in Hartford. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
Picture this. You're eating good food, enjoying a cocktail, and losing weight. That's Awaken 180, a program that fits into your lifestyle with coaches who support you every step of the way. Visit awaken180weightloss.com to kickstart your transformation.
Never liked braces? Invisalign is an alternative that may be right for you. It's removable, more comfortable, and reduces the risk of developing cavities and gum disease. Get your dream smile discreetly and easily. Call Columbia Dental at 860-645-0111.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Ugh, dead battery.
Head to Batteries Plus. Our experts will set you up with a new car battery. Most are installed in under 20 minutes.
That was fast.
Upgrade with a premier install for longer battery life. Batteries Plus, the experts in charge.
Here at ALO, we believe hearing solutions to your main drain problems shouldn't cost a thing. That's why we offer free mainline drain camera inspections and free estimates on sewer line repair or replacement. Contact the trusted professionals at ALO when you call, click, or text today and say, hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P10277688, S10413487, D10401465, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
When you haven't found 1 minute like everyone else
Yes,
has, it's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-384-9393. That's 800-384-9393.
The NAACP calls him,
Whoa! I don't think I'm allowed to read this.
It's Reese on the Radio.
Let's just say some people are not fans.
On NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Everybody, sit down. Everybody, sit down. Chill for a second. We have breaking news. New York Attorney General Letitia James has been indicted on at least one count of alleged fraud, becoming the second political figure in a span of just 3 weeks to face prosecution after President Donald Trump's public demand for the Justice Department to move now and charge his enemies. ABC is reporting. Charge his enemies. I don't care what they call it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just applauding. And again, this is small potatoes. This is nothing. This ain't anything. I'm just telling you, this is why I'm the only reason why I'm doing the whole breaking news thing. The only reason why I'm doing that because I just want the left to be nuts about it. I'm just throwing that in there just for good measure. But this ain't nothing. Letitia James is small potatoes. I told you the people I want the good stuff. This right here, this is an appetizer. You know? This is like, I don't know, an off-year caviar. It's barely that. It's barely that. It's like the good dip. That's all it is. It's good dip. This isn't the main course. This is like, this is hors d'oeuvres. Hors d'oeuvres. I know how to say the word. It ain't nothing. This ain't nothing. But the hell if we're not happy, anything will be, we'll take whatever we can get, baby. Now to the phones we go. Thomas in Thomaston, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm well. Hey, before I start, I did hear Roseanne put a little scream of enjoyment out when you read that news. I like that.
You heard her in the background going, woo! Yeah, I wasn't expecting that to come over.
And then two quick things before Martin Luther King. One, oh man, I'm getting old. I'm forgetting stuff. Oh, TIC, news being biased again. The gentleman at 4:30 said the football game tonight was an extravaganza. The Giants are playing. It cannot be an extravaganza, Reese. I'm sorry. Come on.
All right, you know what? I'm going to give you that one.
Yeah. And then the other one, Reese, I know Barry White was a great soul singer, but I didn't know he had a journalism degree. And he's
oh, no, Barry Weiss. Barry Weiss, not Barry White. Barry Weiss.
Oh, not Barry White.
Not Barry White, Barry
okay.
Weiss.
All right, thanks for
You're
covering that up.
I appreciate you. Oh, get out of here. Okay, you got to go. Fulton, what's going on, sir?
What's up, buddy? Oh, man. The guys that threw me off now. I forgot too.
That was pretty good.
Shoot. I was like, say he got 18 months today on probation.
You got 18 months of probation?
Yeah, like 2 hours ago. I saw a break 2 hours ago.
Damn, that didn't even come over my wire. That's weird. Okay. All right. Does that mean that he loses?
The news. That was the breaking news. Him and Big Tish. They're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna let me get some info on that and I'll address it. What else you got?
One more thing. I got a question for you. On the yesterday, on those guys from West Hartford. One, I love an update on Mark's case on the freedom of speech case. But two,
yes.
Like, what is that guy's plan for? Is he Madani? Like, how do you keep rent down? Like during the pandemic, I had two, 3 families that people weren't paying me for like a year.
Yeah.
So, but I still kept up their services. So, like, were those houses like in that, and then people had to sell it to private equity? That would be my question to that guy. Like,
it's exactly, you're 100% right, and that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of. It's like, how do you not, like, you evict the people, you don't do the repairs, and then you rent them again, which, again, I understand that the rent is so cheap. You know, you take what you can get. But this can't be allowed. It just cannot be allowed. Fulton, I got to let you go. It's too loud. I'm sorry, buddy. Let me go to Gio in Canton. How we doing, Gio?
I'm great, Reese. You know, you do a good thing when you come with Negro nonsense because it's a great hook. I know I probably have limited time, but I wanted to ask. So because your grandfather had owned a business, which is really, really great back in the day, does that negate the opportunity that the rest of the Black community had back in the day?
Well, it's funny that you should mention that. So I actually did this research, and it goes beyond my grandfather, but I've talked about this, in fact, to a large degree. Having done my research and looked at the amount of opportunities for African Americans that they created on their own, it was exorbitant. It was absolutely endless. In fact, I talked about a little bit, Chad O. Jackson made me look up this thing about Booker T. Washington and I guess it was like the Negro, it was called like the Negro Business Association or whatever it was. And he was talking about how they had found footage in 1925, just 3 years after the Tulsa, Oklahoma riots. And he was one of the first Black men and a minister who had a video camera. And he had videotaped a parade taking place in 1925 in Tulsa, in the same area where it was. The one story they never tell us about the Tulsa, Oklahoma riots is that Tulsa rebuilt the whole town, most of it. And far better than that is that the people stayed there and flourished and opened up new businesses. The videotape that he is referencing, that he actually shows us, shows them the kids in the neighborhood, from the Eagle Scouts, the Boy Scouts, all of those people walking through and parading through the street, celebrating businesses because they were all, kind of in a parade procession, so to speak. But the kids, now this is the part that blew my mind, was that the Boy Scouts who were also in the procession were carrying American flags. Now, if we're to believe what Joe Biden and many others have called the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre, was that this was America who turned its back on a black community, Black Wall Street, which would beg the question in 1925, years later after the riot, why were those kids still celebrating America, who we're led to believe had abandoned them? That doesn't make any sense. That would be like after the Gaza war that we just finally got a peace, people in Gaza walking around with Israeli flags. It would baffle your mind, wouldn't it?
It would, but I guess the point that I was trying to make was that your grandfather's success story was like more of an individual rather than a collective.
Actually, you're 100% wrong. You're 100% wrong.
Well, can I finish with my statistics really quickly?
Yeah,
and then
sure.
we can proceed from there. So, like, back in the 60s, 1969, with the U.S. Census Bureau, only 4% of the small businesses were minority-owned, which is like around like 360,000. And from that 4%, only 2% were actually black-owned.
Okay.
And that's, in comparison to, like, I guess it was like 11%.
What was the population?
Back in the day. That's completely small compared to.
You're going to need the population number, Gio. You got to give me the population number. Give me the population.
I have a percentage of said population, and I was just comparing it to the population of.
We also have to.
Which owns 7 million.
Well, let's try this on the overall population of white folks today, which is well over 215 to 220 million. How many of them own businesses?
Oh, I would say a lot more than the black community would.
Of course, but remember, we're talking about 215 to 220 million versus just under 50 million, right? The number's a percentage. And again, if we're looking at that percentage the right way, right, we are talking about what's one, economic opportunity, what's also a part of culture. Many people just start businesses up out of nowhere. Whether or not we're counting businesses like I showed yesterday, people just putting a sign on their pickup truck, running a small business, one like my own, a moving company where in essence I had no brick and mortar. I had none until I actually moved to Texas and I actually had a brick and mortar, but I didn't operate out of a brick and mortar. I had a private business. But statistically, if you have a smaller population, you're going to have a smaller population of those people who start businesses because most people work at companies as opposed to starting businesses. Now, it isn't to say, but hold on, it isn't to say that because there weren't a lot of African Americans starting businesses that they weren't successful because of it.
Yeah, I would argue opportunity-wise with banks and stuff, with loans.
What about banks then? Did they own banks in the 1950s?
With the GI Bill, it was possible for everyone to get them, but not everyone is actually getting them.
Right, but I think what you're trying to conflate here is the fact that because a lot of black people didn't own businesses, and it doesn't. You're saying like, what did you say? Did you say 4%? Is that what you suggested?
Yeah, the 4%. Yep.
Okay.
4% in 1969. Yep.
Yeah. Now, 4% of all business ownership was African American.
No. 2% of the 4% minority-owned businesses.
Okay, 2% of all minority businesses were African American owned. Okay, well, I would just ask the question: one, what was the population? Two, how many does that actually round out to, like actual businesses?
I'll get the information. Can I have one more point before I go? I know you have limited time.
No, you're good.
I saw something crazy with Stephen Miller on CNN. Something about plenary something. Could you explain that to me by any chance?
I don't know exactly what it was, but are you talking about the conversation he was having with the bald head gentleman on CNN that he was having this contentious argument with?
He kind of froze up after he had said plenary action under like the U.S. Code 10 something. I have to look more into that.
I have to as well because I know exactly what you're talking about, and I saved it on X, but I never got back to it.
I just think it's a little crazy how something like that can be said on TV. I don't know. I know I wouldn't like my president to have unlimited power unchecked under the U.S. Section Code 10. But
well, when you talk about a president having power unchecked, do you have a problem with the president doing it in a clandestine way?
Can you define the clandestine? I'm not too sure what that would mean.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about conversations with social media companies to go after private citizens. And I'm not talking about bigwigs like Dr. Bhattacharya. I'm talking about average
so like a Palantir
citizens.
type of situation?
I'm sorry?
So like a Palantir type of situation?
No, I'm talking about a personal account. Like, let's say it's yours. If you decided to have a conversation or to post, let's say you have thousands of viewers and you make comments about the vaccine that you find suspicious, or you make comments about COVID in general, about how the government's entered, and you find out in a clandestine way that the president of the United States, through the FBI or even through his own lackeys, are contacting social media and telling them to eliminate, if not close down, your account. Would you consider that?
No, that's wrong. That's wrong. Joe Biden should not have done that during that time.
Okay, so
But-
we know it to be true, right?
Yes.
How about having the power to take a former president and remove him from social media to the point where he has to create his own social media company?
Well, now we're making the comparison of social media and the use of the military.
No, sir. Well, let's talk about the use of the military. Did the president of the United States bomb a U.S. citizen and kill his 16-year-old son without Congress's input?
No, but I did recently have a pretty
Did
crazy
the
shooting that happened in Chicago.
Did the president do that? Yes or no?
The president doesn't do many things because he only calls
Did
the
the
shots.
president kill a U.S. citizen abroad and his 16-year-old son without the input of Congress or due process?
I wouldn't know. So
He
I
did.
would need more context for that.
He did.
Yep.
And the president is Barack Hussein Obama, who went on
and
it
I
went to
would
the
agree
New
that
York
he shouldn't
Times
do that.
and who went to the New York Times and said, I quote, "I'm really good at this killing stuff." And nobody batted an eye. Yeah, that's what he said, man.
The same comments could be found with Trump saying that he could shoot someone and then nothing would
Saying
happen.
something. See, that's what. See, again, this is my point, Gio. What you're talking about is what Donald Trump said, and as the constitutional right of free speech, you have a problem with him saying something. Here I am telling you that somebody did something. They killed a U.S. citizen without due process, and you compared it to a guy saying stuff.
So, like Stephen Miller.
No.
scenario,
Nobody died when Donald Trump said stuff. Somebody died when Barack Obama did stuff. And you are trying to conflate. Now, I'm just trying to tell me where the comparison is. Because you seem to have selective outrage here.
No. I agree with you. If previous presidents were doing the same thing, I would condemn them equally.
No.
That's the case. But the thing is, back
Are
in
you
the day
saying
when
that they're
Obama
the
was president,
same
I was
thing? Here's what I'm telling you. Here's what I'm trying to get out of you. Are you suggesting that Donald Trump saying something is the same thing as an act?
Well, would your previous context saying that if you have a lot of followers, right, or you have a lot of influence, your words, in fact, do carry some action, especially if you're the president. So, like with President Barack Hussein Obama doing those things, yeah, we hold him accountable. for his
Well,
words
again,
and his
I'm
actions.
going to differ with you on that opinion, but I do have to take a break. But the only reason why I'm going to differ with you on this opinion is that what you're suggesting is that because Donald Trump has followers and says something, that is tantamount to the evil of killing an American citizen abroad with a drone. And that to me, that does not compute.
Yeah,
But I appreciate.
Whataboutism, Reese.
No, it's not whataboutism. It's not whataboutism. Gio, I got to go to a break. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Sorry about that, Mark, man.
Oh, no problem. Reese, thank you very much. If you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, southbound side of 91, you've got slow traffic 33 down to 32 A and B, and again 27 down to 28. If you're on the northbound side of 91, you're going to see sluggish traffic 20 up to 22, and the Route 9 interchange after that, a little slow up in Windsor 35 to 36. Westbound side of 84, delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to exit 45 Flatbush, 84 eastbound slowing 44 Prospect Oakwood to the Bulkley, a little slow again out by the 384 interchange at exit 59. 2 westbound delays, 1D up to the 84 West merge. Route 2 eastbound, you got some slow traffic coming off of Route 2 out to exit 4 in Glastonbury. 291 eastbound slowing I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. 9 northbound delays Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. 9 southbound, a little slow traffic moving down by exit 35 in New Britain. If you're traveling on the westbound side of 84 in Farmington, look for delays 38 Finneman Road down to just west of the 72 interchange between exit 33 and 32. 84 eastbound Waterbury delays 17 up to the Mixmaster. Westbound 84 slowing 26 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. And if you're traveling southbound in the Wilbur-Cross Parkway, look for delays coming southbound from exit 52 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 91 southbound delays 6 down in toward the 95 interchange. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Sunny and breezy the rest of the afternoon. The high right around 60 and clear and cold tonight. Out of 31 will challenge a record low of 29 set back in 1989. And for tomorrow, sunny after a chilly start. It turns into a pretty nice afternoon. We're up to 61. And then a little bit warmer as we head into Saturday. Intervals of clouds and sunshine up to 67. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
5 o'clock, 57 degrees in Hartford. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The investigation is continuing into the discovery of human remains this week in New Britain. Find was made in the rear of an abandoned building on Clark Street Wednesday. Police were called to the scene on a report of suspicious activity. Officials say the remains were found in a large container. Steve Nimchik lives nearby. He tells WFSB the discovery is out of character for the rest of the neighborhood.
A lot of people are just in array. It's like what's going on down here. This is a quiet street. There's no problems down here. And then this activity came up yesterday.
Some say squatters had overtaken the building following a fire there over a year ago. President Trump hailed the agreement to end the fighting in Gaza during a cabinet meeting today. Correspondent Stacey Lynn.
It's been really something incredible that nobody thought it was possible to get it done.
President Trump says the deal will bring an everlasting peace to the Middle East.
And very importantly, the hostages are coming back.
He says that should happen either Monday or Tuesday, which he called.
That'll be a day of joy.
But acknowledged.
Getting them is a complicated process. I'd rather not tell you what they have to do to get them. There are places you don't want to be.
He says he's going to try to make a trip over there as well.
We're working on the timing.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
UConn political science professor Jeremy Pressman says the ceasefire is promising, but there's a long way to go to achieve peace in the Middle East. He says the deal leaves Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu short in his plan to eliminate Hamas.
So until you deal with the underlying political disagreements between Israelis and Palestinians, Hamas or something like it is going to continue to exist. And so I think it was always unrealistic for the current Israeli government to suggest that they could eliminate Hamas without addressing those underlying political problems.
He adds there's no evidence the current Israeli government would support Palestinian independence.
Attention law enforcement.
You
took an oath to protect and serve, to keep your family.
Who later died was from
We're America's beverage companies, making American products with American workers in America's hometowns, creating.
Go 100%. You idolize a bona fide sociopath. He was involved in that jump at Jumptown skydiving in Orange, Massachusetts. As the cold days begin to creep in, $4.5 million award from the State Department of Housing is being allocated to held cold weather emergency support services as they get ready for the winter season.
You guys,
the DOH.
Don't mess up that story. That's not what he said. That's not what he said. There's more to it than this, the circumcisions.
Nearly 5,000 individuals find refuge from the cold. This year, we're doing it again, because no one in Connecticut should have to sleep outside in freezing temperatures.
Another $3.5 million being earmarked for nonprofits that support the homeless in developing a path toward housing stability. Hartford Wolfpack will be the first to christen the newly refurbished People's Bank Arena in downtown Hartford, formerly the XL Center. The puck drops October 17th for the Wolfpack's home opener. The renamed arena underwent a $145 million renovation, adding club seating and new locker room amenities, among other things. Eric Hansen is the PAC's VP of Business Operations.
To watch a game, it was always nice there. But what did it have? It didn't have some of the better areas for, the premium seating side of things. Put an unbelievable club in there, which will be underneath, the arena side of things, which is going to be beautiful. 2 bars, so many TVs.
In addition, there will be UConn men's and women's basketball and hockey, as well as concerts at the arena. Dow finished down 243 points today. NASDAQ lost 18. S&P lost 18. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Come on a minute.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected. Also, you forgot to renew your website domain, and now you're in a bidding war.
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room, and now everything smells weird.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication on your accounts, report phishing, and update your software on all your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. So stay smart, stay safe, and stay protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK. Terms do apply.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We don't have really much Hollywood news. I'm just going to play the music anyway. It's Hollywood news with your correspondent, Reese on the Radio. All the glitz and all the glap. It's Hollywood news. There are a couple of movies actually that are being released today. They've got Netflix. By the way, I don't know if anybody is really paying attention to this Netflix cancellation thing, but the story's already gone. NFL star Saquon Barkley has a documentary that's come out on Amazon. John Candy, I Like Me, the documentary's coming out today. I love John Candy in the 80s. I loved him in Planes, Trains, and Automobile. That is such a great movie. And I will admit that there are some points in that movie that kind of made me cry. It's in that line where he says, I like me, when he's staring down Steve Martin, and Steve Martin is like completely berating him because he's an uptight, suburbanite. And John Candy is kind of a over-the-top, rambunctious kind of guy. But when John Candy gives that monologue in the hotel room talking about, I like me, it's heart-crushing when he says that. And John Candy just knew how to deliver that. So, yeah, Uncle Buck just knows how to deliver that. So I'm going to watch that tonight. Can't wait. It is. And it says, according to the description, a heartfelt look at the life and legacy of comedian John Candy, told through stories of friends and families and collaborators. And, yeah, he was a good guy and just a good guy as far as movies were concerned. Uncle Buck is a good movie, too. What was the other one? The Great Outdoors? I think that's what that one was called, with Dan Aykroyd. Yes. Those aren't pillows. He had, I've seen a lot of movies with John Candy, now that I think about it. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to say something mean. You know who I always thought was a John Candy knockoff? Louis Anderson. Louis Anderson was funny, but I always kind of felt like Louis Anderson was getting John Candy scraps. Let's get a check of weather and traffic. We got John Ferrick with weather and Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Did you like John Candy at all, Mark?
You're not going to believe this.
Yeah.
I've seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
No, I got to applaud
times,
you. I've got to applaud you.
And I've seen Uncle Buck many times.
Now, I will tell you this. Do you want to know why I know Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? I think I know you watched it. Because it is a Thanksgiving movie, and it seems like a movie.
Yes.
Like It's a Wonderful Life.
Trying to get home for Thanksgiving.
That's exactly why, and I think that's the reason why a lot of people have seen it. It's just that movie.
John Candy, the shower ring salesman.
That's right.
Remember, that's what he sold, shower rings.
You know, it was one of the movies that didn't involve kids, directed by John Hughes.
Wow.
Yep.
One of my favorite scenes of that movie was when Steve Martin was at the counter trying to get a
my God, with Edie McClure. With Edie
my
McClure. Oh, that's the best scene in the movie. I love that movie.
How can I help you, sir? Oh, my God. Great stuff. So, see, I actually saw a couple of movies.
You know what? I got to go back.
Years.
That's what it is. I got to keep you in the 80s and 70s.
I think that's when I had time to watch movies. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 IMB, and again 27 to 28. And if you're on the southbound side of 91, a little slow again as you move between 20 and 19, Middletown into Meriden. Northbound 91's bunch it up, 20 up to 22 in the Route 9 interchange. A little slow again, 35 to 36 in Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up East Hartford approaching the Bulkley Bridge. Out to 45 Flatbush, 84 eastbound locked up, 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel. 291, 384 okay. 2 westbound slowing, 1D up to the 84 West merge. 2 eastbound slowing coming off of I-84 almost out to just about exit 4 in Glastonbury. Traveling 9 northbound delays Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. If you're on the westbound side of 84 in Farmington, delays 38 out to exit 33 in the 72 interchange. 72 westbound slowing 2 up to the 84 West merge. Westbound 84 Waterbury slows 25A to the Mixmaster. Eastbound 84 Waterbury slows 18 out to exit 23. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
A little bit on the cool side out there this afternoon, and we'll have a chilly night for tonight. Mostly clear sky. We'll dip back to 30, pretty close to the record low of 29 for the date set back in 1989. Freeze warning in effect. And then tomorrow, after a cold start, we'll have a pretty nice afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, the high up to 61. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, the low 46. And then Saturday, intervals of clouds and sunshine up to 67. It does look like we'll see some rain as we head into Sunday. Right now, it's 57 in Windsor Locks, 55 in Waterbury, and it's 57 in Hartford. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
In the fight against Alzheimer's, now matters. Because now we have new treatments that could change everything. Join the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's, the world's largest fundraiser to fight the disease. Step up in your community at alz.org/walk. Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement.
Do me a favor, tell Mikey we've got to do them tomorrow.
With Endurance,
and I'll
you could
call
never
him
pay
later.
for
I'll
covered
tell him
auto
why.
repairs again.
All right, cool.
Your free quote, call 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation.
Here we go.
Qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
You know, interestingly enough, thinking about planes, trains, and automobiles, Mark Christopher mentioned the Edie McClure scene at the car rental place. I can't believe that line. You can never, ever play it because there's just so many. He says the F word so many times, but it is hilarious. It's the best. It's the best. Edie McClure is fantastic in that scene. But another line in that movie that is a small scene and a throwaway still crushes me every time I see it. And it's when they're in the back of that pickup truck and they're in the snow and it's absolutely freezing. And I don't know who delivers the line, but I know the line. And he goes, "What do you think the temperature is?" And he answered, and the response is, "About 1." Best line in that scene is the temperature, 1. Because it's not even a temperature, but I don't know why, but it makes me laugh every time I think about it and every time I see it. And every time I play it in front of someone, they go, "You thought that was funny?" I'm like, that's hilarious. It's a great scene. I love numbers are funny. They can be. I always tell people that the number 12 is very funny to me. And that's from Benny Hill. For those of you who do remember Benny Hill, you'll remember the scene. Is that one part when he comes home, Benny Hill comes home and he finds out his wife is having an affair with a younger guy. And he's supposed to pretend like nothing is going on. And he says to the younger guy, he asks him if he likes some tea. And he says, yes. And he says, "How many sugars would you like?" And the guy goes, 12. And Benny looks at him and says, "What? How many sugars?" He was like, 12. And Benny Hill then turns around and takes the tea and dumps it into the sugar bowl, which is, again, hilarious. It's a funny bit. Anyway, nonetheless. I'll do it all day, and you'll be asking yourself, what the hell is he talking about? I'm sorry. It's just funny to me. So I said I was going to talk about this earlier, and I need to. What is Deep doing in Middletown? Well, if you haven't heard, they promised this revolutionary trash program that's supposed to slash waste, save money, and save the planet. And people always fall for that because they don't just sell it to you with those ideas. They always tell you that it's a must and it has to be done. So the people in Middletown did it. And they did this program. It was called the Save As You Throw program, or SAYT. It's also a pay-as-you-throw program, which was kicked off in 2024. Now, here was the goal. You get residents to buy special green or orange trash bags, and for food scraps, you separate them from regular garbage to boost composting and to cut down on landfill waste. That's the objective. Connecticut's trash plant, their big trash plant in Hartford was shut down, forcing towns to ship garbage out of state. This, of course, would bring skyrocketing costs. That was everybody knew. The state's Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, or DEEP, threw in grants to make this happen, partnering with Waste Zero, a company that consults on these programs and sells the bags. Middletown even tricked out their garbage trucks with AI cameras to enforce it. This was to make sure that people were actually doing what they were required to do. In a 2024 presentation, City Public Works folks crowed that the program was working. They claimed that 80% of the folks were in compliance. And that was from a whopping 32% drop in trash tonnage is what they told us. The plans were buzzing to slash bag prices and lower fees for everyone because of this win. DEEP even bonded another $10 million statewide for more pilot programs like this. But we found out that that was false. August 26th of this year, at a Sanitation Disposal District Commission meeting, the truth came out. Actual waste reduction was not 30%. It was 8%. And in October this year, they found out that there was no free ride and they were staring down a 30% hike in residential and commercial fees just to cover the hauler costs that kept climbing. They said the red flags were waving long before. In fact, they saw it as early as February and April. They said the truck cameras for spotting non-compliers, they were glitchy and useless. And as for the Waste Zero bags, they became pricey and hard to find. Some say low quality even. Residents griped about the fines for tossing scraps in wrong bags. City service areas had to play ball. But private hauler zones and opt-out city plans did not take effect. One resident at the April meeting called the potential flop a disgrace for the city. Another one blasted it, saying that Waste Zero may have profited at the expense of the city and its residents. The Deputy Public Works Director, Bobby Peterson, admitted Waste Zero's contract is expensive and lacks expected benefits. Maybe time for a new vendor. A new vendor, not just stop the program. They decided to do more. Middletown, one of the 15 Connecticut towns that were made to do this pay-as-you-throw grants or programs. Only 6 people ran with it, or 6 towns ran with it, and just Middletown went full curbside with penalties. Others like Guilford and Madison stuck to drop-off spots. Towns like Greenwich and West Hartford, they ditched it over the backlash. And Sonia's pilot tanked, blaming social media and misinformation. Even Connecticut's big municipal groups back the pay-as-you-throw model, but Deep still calling these successful for diverting waste. And according to the math, it isn't gaining any ground. The trash program was not a good idea from the start, and now people are recognizing it. That's where the problem is. It was never a good idea, but then again, they had never means tested it. And they jumped in too early by saying that it was successful. It wasn't. It isn't. And when you, look, this is going to sound horrible, but let me say this. Trash is not supposed to be this complicated. It isn't. It's trash. I don't mind so much about doing the glass stuff or the recyclable stuff. I don't mind. But we know that that's not happening either. There is no recycling program. Your milk cartons are not coming back to you. They're in Korea and Vietnam, floating someplace or just being burned in some third world country. We know that as a fact right now. That's no longer a joke. It's not even a mystery. It is a fact. No one is recycling. They don't have the means to recycle it. All these companies that say that they recycle your plastics, they're not doing it. When they try to, the stuff gets stuck. They have to shut down the machines, and then they have to go in physically and pluck the plastic off of the machinery. It is long, it is arduous, and it costs way too much money. And that cost always goes back to you. There's no point in doing it anymore. Look, folks, I got to be honest. You got to just throw your trash away. And we have to start producing the evidence that all of this is a lie. We just have to. We have to start tracking where this trash is going. When you do your recyclables, we need to get down to where the recyclable area is and find out where they're doing, and then find out where that trash is going, where that recyclable stuff is going. Find out where it's going. Not that we need to put a tracking device on it, but they need to be transparent about it. Where is our plastics? Where are our bottles going? Are they going to recycling plants? How much of it is going to recycling plants? Is it 5%? Is it 10%? Is it 2%? What are you doing with the rest of it? Is it going to other cities so they can recycle it? Where's it going? And make them respond to that. Because again, truth be told, I really believe this. I believe it's all ended up in the same place. I truly do. Somebody said barges down the Hudson. Remember that? Remember the barge that no one would take? Oh, that was a story forever. Recycling really costs the cities more money than they want to admit. You're 100% right. You're absolutely right. They actually do ship it to other states. They ship it to other states all the time. But the truth is, they don't do what they say they're supposed to do with this stuff. It never goes to the place where it's supposed to go. And I wish that, if I had had the time to, I should have thought of this earlier about playing this audio. I thought that I had it, but it doesn't look like I do. Normally, I would have this ready to go because it is such a great piece that is indicative of the lies that we're told about this stuff. And I'm looking to see if I have it in my database because I know that I had it a long time ago with John Stossel, who was, he was walking around the city asking people about the environment. Now, this is the piece he did on Judith Curry. I don't think this is the one. It's only a couple of, it's like 6 minutes and 24, it's like 6 minutes, 24 seconds long. This one's really, really long. But he did one. I'll see if I can find it during the break because it's really, really a good piece that shows that none of this stuff is ending up in places that it gets burned. In fact, there was one guy in the piece of the documentary where he's in the pile of plastic. And as he's going through the pile of plastic, he grabs something and he picks it up and he looks at it. And I want to say he's in Vietnam or in Korea or something like that. He's in a third world country. That's all I can say. Anyway, he picks it up and he looks at it and it's from Ohio. That was the part that blew me away. I was like, so, and all of these environmentalists who screaming and hollering. I was like, no, we got to save the environment. That's not what's being done at all. At all. Tell Yuri to stay on the line because we're going to go to a break in a second. I'll be happy to take his phone call on the other side if he's willing to wait. Tomorrow, I've got to talk about the Milford Democrat Town Committee. Wow, these town committees, they are really revving it up now with this rhetoric. Like some of the stuff that these town committee folks are saying. I mean, just like out in the public, people being called Nazis and bootlickers? Like for real? Now, I don't have a problem with people's free speech, but are we really? Like, is that how we're engaging with the opposite side? Greg Gutfeld said this the other day on the 5, which I thought was pretty interesting. I say that the immigrants pictured with Ned Lamont on Monday trying to celebrate health care for illegals. I say they have type 2 diabetes, and I'm called a bigot. But an adult, full-grown adult, gets in a committee hearing calling her opposition Nazi bootlickers nothing. I mean, all I said was saying somebody had type 2 diabetes, but I never called anybody a fascist. I never called anybody a bootlicker. I never went that far. I called them dumb. I called them lazy. I called them plenty of things. But I've never called anybody a fascist. So goes that. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll do what we do. And we'll get this show wrapped up. All right, stick around. Let's get to weather and traffic. We got, is it John Ferrick? Ferrick is in the Weather Center. We got Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, thank you very much, Reese. And if you are heading into Hartford right now and you are on the southbound side of 91, that delays 33 down to 32, another bump 27 to 28, sluggish again 22 down to 21 in Cromwell, northbound side of 91, slowing approaching 21 up to the Route 9 interchange at 22, a little slow 25, 26 in Wethersfield, you'll lose speed again 35 to 36 in Windsor. On the westbound side of 84, you're going to see slow traffic now as you move up just after 56 Governor Street out to 44 Prospect Oakwood. Eastbound 84 locked up 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel. If you're 2 westbound, some delays 6 to 4 in Glastonbury. 2 westbound again, slowing 1D up to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. Moving down into Middletown, 9 north and southbound slowing at the Aragoni Bridge, 9 north slowing in 32 in Berlin up to 34 in New Britain. Westbound side of 84 in Farmington, delays from 37 out to just west of exit 33 and the 72 interchange. Westbound 84 in Waterbury tied up 25A up to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound, some slow traffic from exit 18 out to exit 23 in Waterbury. Southbound on the Parkway delays 52 into the West Rock Tunnel, and 95 southbound delays 48 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Sunshine for the rest of the afternoon. Definitely feeling more like fall. Breezy, the high around 60. And clear and cold for tonight. Down to 31, probably just short of the record low of 29. So back in 1989. Then sunshine for tomorrow. A pretty nice afternoon, albeit a little bit on the cool side. The high 61. And Saturday, times of clouds and sunshine. We rebound to 67. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. And now, a WTIC News Update.
5:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Israel and Hamas have agreed to a pause in their 2-year war and the release of the remaining hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. The breakthrough greeted with joy and relief today, but also some caution with still some uncertainty on some of the thornier aspects of the broader peace plan. But the hostage exchange is set to begin as early as Monday. Investigations continuing into the discovery of human remains in New Britain. The find made Wednesday when police answered a call around 1 p.m. on Clark Street. Abandoned property about suspicious activity. Officials say the remains were found in a container in the backyard. Police in New Haven say a 20-year-old man's in the hospital after he was shot late last night. Call came in around 11:30. The victim taken to Yale New Haven with non-life-threatening leg injuries. And police say they think that shooting happened in the Level and Lodge Street areas of the Elm City. Lawmakers are openly venting their frustration as they try to gain traction to end the government shutdown. Groups of lawmakers have been trying to brainstorm ways out of the standoff now 9 days in that has shuttered government offices, kept hundreds of thousands of federal employees at home, and even threatened their pay. State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection issuing an advisory to homeowners about bears. They say the animals are fattening up for the winter and are looking for food. The department advises not making it easy for them by ditching bird feeders and not intentionally leaving food out. Former Red Sox outfielder Mike Greenwell has died. The team says he'd been battling a rare form of thyroid cancer. The man they called the Gator spent his entire career with the Sox, batting .303 for his career, making 2 All-Star teams and finishing 4th in the 1987 Rookie of the Year balloting. Greenwell came up in 1985. Played 31 games for the 1986 AL pennant winners. Mike Greenwell was 62. On Wall Street, the Dow lost 243 points. Both the NASDAQ and the S&P lost 18 points apiece. Thursday night football features the Giants. They'll try to get a win at home against Philly. NHL tonight, Bruins host Chicago, Rangers skate in Buffalo, and the Isles are in Pittsburgh. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help Kurt.
You're supposed to be on fire as a person. You're supposed to want to get things done. I started having anxiety out of the blue, low libido, brain fog, not feeling driven. Literally had to push myself every day to get up and get things done. I was driving and I heard Northeast Men's Health on the radio, and the first consult seemed reasonable. So I decided to give it a call and made an appointment. They found that I had low T, and after that it was like a light switch got turned on. I've been a patient at Northeast Men's Health for about 9 months now. Everything's gotten a lot better in my life. Energy, feeling, just work, a whole lot better. Even my kids notice. They're like, Daddy's got energy, Daddy's ready to go. If you don't feel like that, I would suggest calling Northeast Men's Health.
Thanks, Kurt. It's true. Low T therapy will likely change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 with results in minutes. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call today, 800-930-5956, or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us on TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
And I want to say congratulations to the Trump administration, as I did in the beginning, for, as you heard in the top of the hour news, or the bottom of the hour news, about peace talks in Gaza. And with Israel, so congratulations are in order, and we hope that we see the hostages freed on Monday or Tuesday, as the president suggests. It is a win for all of those folks in that region, and the possibility of peace is something that we should all look forward to. I'm looking forward to it, and again, I don't care what all of the other rhetoric is. I'm hoping, I'm hoping that it's a win for everybody. And folks who are looking for their loved ones are hoping to get them back. So maybe that will happen. When we come back, I'll play this clip because I found it. It's called Even Greenpeace Says Most Plastics Simply Cannot Be Recycled. I'll play that when we get back so we can get over this nonsense. People know that the plastic's not being recycled. It's a joke. Excuse me. Rollo writes, Reese, in your recent conversation with a listener, you criticized Obama and criticized Trump for inappropriate statements. This kind of ridiculous argument goes on all the time. I'm not sure that I said anything about Obama's statements. I said Obama said, I'm really good at this killing stuff in an interview with the New York Times. I didn't criticize his statement. I said that he said it, and no one took issue with it. I'm really good at this killing stuff, and nobody thought that rhetoric was inflammatory. Donald Trump said, my poll numbers are so good that I could shoot a guy on Fifth Avenue and he wouldn't. When he was talking about how many people were loyal to him as far as his voters were concerned, saying, I'm so loyal that I could do the most egregious thing and people would still support me. And now people are suggesting that Donald Trump said, I could shoot a guy, which he never said. Okay? So I wish, it's not, I try not to get insulted. But you guys know that I know this stuff. Please stop playing me like you're the guys who don't know this stuff. You're the guys who are inept here, not me. I know what was said. It's my job to know. So please stop talking to me like you folks, you're the aficionados here. That's my job. You don't even know what you're talking about. Okay, I keep the clips. I'm the one who downloads the clips. I'm the one who plays the clips. I know them I know them better than my anniversary. Anyway. That kind of ridiculous argument goes on all the time. Just justifying the inappropriateness. I don't care about inappropriateness. Stop with the whining. Inappropriate. Shut up. You sound like a bunch of babies. Grow up. When did you guys, I understand. Look, I was raised by my mama too, but I didn't take her characteristics. He said things. I'm harmed. Shut up. You bore me with that nonsense. Men. Grow a spine. Jeez. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. I hope it doesn't offend you. There might be traffic out there. Try not to lose it. Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, be easy with him.
All right, I'll try my best. Gentle hands here, gentle hands. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound side of 84, really getting whacked by the sun. You got delays just after 56 Governor Street out to 43 Park Road in West Hartford. 84 eastbound delays from 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley Bridge. East of the river, a little slow by exit 59 in the 384 interchange. Southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A&B, and again 27 down to 28. Another bump down by exit 22 in the Route 9 interchange. And some slow traffic, 21 down to 20 in Middletown. Northbound side of 91, that looks pretty good now through Cromwell. You are seeing a little bit of slow traffic, though, up in Windsor, 35 up to exit 36. If you're traveling Route 2 eastbound, heavy off of Route 2 out to exit 3 in East Hartford. 2 westbound slowing 6 to 4 in Glastonbury, and again approaching exit 1D up to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. 9 north and southbound slightly slow approaching the Aragoni Bridge. 9 northbound is tied up 32 to 34 in New Britain. If you're traveling westbound 84, look for delays now from exit 36 in New Britain out to 33 in the 72 interchange. Westbound 84 in Waterbury slowing 25A up to the Mixmaster. And if you're heading down into New Haven, you've got delays now from exit 52 in Hamden down into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound delays 48 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
A little bit on the cool side out there as we head into the evening, and we'll have a chilly night for tonight. As a matter of fact, we have a freeze warning in effect. We'll dip back to 30. Record low 29, sit back in 1989, so we will challenge that. Then a cold start for tomorrow. But we'll have sunshine, and we'll rebound to 61 tomorrow afternoon. And partly cloudy tomorrow night, the low 46. A little bit milder as we head into Saturday, intervals of clouds and sunshine up to 67. And then it looks like we'll see some rain as we head into Sunday. Right now, it's 54 in East Hartford. It's 56 in Bristol, and it's 55 in Hartford. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
Have bad teeth that need to be replaced? Don't like removable dentures? Worry no more. Come on down to Columbia Implant Center in Manchester any day of the week and ask for the all-on-4 procedure. Call us at 860-643-1898.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon at newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Suicide is something that affects all of us, and we can play a part in saving lives. Make a difference in your community by walking out of the darkness with us on Saturday, October 25th at White Memorial Conservation Center in Litchfield. Help spread awareness and understanding. Send the message that help is available and raise funds for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Register today at afsp.org/LitchfieldCO. That's afsp.org/LitchfieldCO.
Picture this. You're eating good food, enjoying a cocktail with dinner, and losing weight. That's the power of Awaken 180, a weight loss program that teaches you how to eat for your body without giving up what you love. No medications, no gimmicks. With Awaken 180, you get personalized coaching, lifetime support, and results guaranteed in the first week. Finally, a program that makes sense and creates lasting change. To kickstart your transformation, visit awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
I'm Ed Evans, Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah, I it's just got to be said. This show is not for it ain't for everybody. It can't be. It just can't be. The soft soap and the dudes made of fluff and all that other stuff. I can't, and I won't be distracted by it. If you're faint and you can't and your feelings are always hurt, you gotta go. Just gotta go. And I get it. I know there's a part of the addiction because the part of it is it's just like, but I really love this show, but I just wish it'd be nicer. No. Like big giant letter F, no. It's just that simple. No. I refuse. I'm not a mean person. I know I'm not. I know what's in my heart. I'm not going to be told or dictated by anybody what type of person I am. I'm good. I'm a good guy. And I will continue to be a good guy. Let me play this real quick before I get to Yuri.
The economics have just gotten worse.
Now, my city would save more than $300 million a year if it just stopped recycling.
Recycling is an industry that's using increasingly expensive labor to produce materials that are worth less and less.
Because it's not worth recycling here, much is shipped overseas to countries like Malaysia, where it's just piled up.
A vast field of plastic 2 stories high.
Some of it from America.
See if we can look on the back here. Marysville, Ohio.
See? Again, like I said, and that video is 2 years old. So when I tell you, again, this is my job. 2 years old, I remember exactly where the piece was and the fact that it was from Ohio. Right? Always confirm with the facts. That's what we do here. Okay? It goes to third world countries. The plastic is not going anywhere. It's not being recycled. You are not going to get your Palmolive bottle back. It ain't happening. Okay? So please, let's just stop it with the nonsense. By the way, I want to give a round of applause to my producer, Emmy Award winning, who did the job that I couldn't do. He did the job that I couldn't do. He got Mike Lombardi, and he actually communicated with him, and Mike Lombardi is very, very busy. He's an incredibly busy guy, but he's going to do his best to see if he can set out some time for us so that we can talk to him. It's important to get him on the phones and to find out what he knows about these water windmills and all that other good stuff in the environment, the calamity that it's causing. Now, let's go to Yuri in Middletown. Hello, Yuri.
Hello, sir. How you doing?
I'm good. Yuri, now that name sounds like it could be Ukrainian, Czechoslovakian, or even Russian.
Russian. My
it is
my
Russian.
father is an
Okay.
expat from Russia. So anyway, I'm surprised since you were covering the story about the trash that you might have even seen my name turn up in that. I've been very, very active in the opposition to that program since it came to my attention.
Oh, man, thank you for calling. I really appreciate you.
I wanted to shoot out a couple of other names as well of people. I hope you're going to keep on this story because there's truly something of real interest here if you want to follow it down and if you can make something of it. I've been working very closely with a gentleman, Rick Sienna. He's a private detective locally in town. We kind of started collaborating with a bunch of other local residents. He did an FOIA request against the city, which they, naturally fought and resisted in many a great way to keep us from seeing what was behind the curtain about this whole trash program. Very, very quickly, we realized that the program was very much a scam. And these soft people who you're talking about, they tried every type of tactic to shut down lanes of inquiry. They accused Rick of being an aggressive type of person and threatening people when he had done no such thing. To kick him out of the offices at the.
Was that where they were claiming the misinformation part?
Yes. So yeah, they started up this whole routine about claiming that we were propagating misinformation. And it's funny because I don't consider myself Republican, definitely not a conservative. The longest time I was on the Democrat Party side. I was registered with that party for nearly 20 years. I grew up in New York, so I moved to Connecticut more recently for work purposes. But I found myself farther and farther away from their values because it's very much like what you're talking about. They're gaslighting us, and they're telling us about a topic that no one would disagree with. No one would ever say anything like, I'm against being against fascism, or I'm against being against the environment. Of course you want to save the environment.
Right.
You have to forgive me. I do have my 2-year-old daughter yelling at me. None of us would say these things, but they're hiding behind a mask of virtue when they're really just crony capitalists, and there's really ugly stuff that's going on. So the CEO of the company you referenced, the vendor, it's a man named Mark Dancy.
Okay.
He came down to the city, and he gave us a lovely big presentation. I was invited to it by Rick at the police department, where there was no cameras, so they couldn't film the meeting of concerned citizens. And he sat next to me. I didn't know who he was at the time, and had been a light conversation with him, where he told me that if I would just read the book, Nudge by Richard Thaler, if I would read Misbehaving by Richard Thaler, I would fully understand what he was trying to do with the program. And I took him on his word, and I did that. I read that book. And what I discovered from reading that book was that he's employing a psychological manipulation tactic, nudge theory. It's where you're going to introduce to people, you set them up in a situation where they will fail. They gave us free bags. It's okay, baby. It's okay. They give us free bags to work with.
Right.
They gave us free bags to work with and didn't teach us how to use them properly. We squandered them. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. We squandered those bags. We squandered those bags, and then they introduced those bags to us again at a very, very expensive rate.
Right.
You know, dollars on bags, and these things are very, very cheap. And then they implemented their reach out to us to say, hey, let us help you, show you a better way on how you can save money with this program. So it was part of a nudge series.
It's pretty much, in essence, what it is that the objective is to get you hooked on them and then make it the only way in which you can do. You know, only reason why I know this, and I swear to you, this is not the first time this has happened. Back in 2004, when I first started working in Hartford, Connecticut, I'll never forget this story that I covered. It was in a suburb in Chicago. And this was right around the time, I'm almost certain, it was either 2004 or 2005. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. This was the incandescent light bulb when we were switching, right? It was that switch. But before that was happening, when George W. Bush was finally going to get rid of that, we had to go to these LED light bulbs. But what this suburb in Chicago did was all of their customers, their electric customers, they gave them these 3 light bulbs to put into their houses so they could get used to it. These light bulbs were supposed to last for like 3 years, right? So you don't have to keep going back to get these new light bulbs. These are supposed to last for you forever. Everybody got the light bulbs, and they were just like, wow, what a gift from the electric company. So everybody took the light bulbs, everybody put them in their house so they can see their electric bill goes down. Here's where it gets crazy. A month later, they get the bill. It turns out they charged them for the light bulbs. They thought they were free, but they charged them for the bill. Then they told them they couldn't use any other light bulbs but those. Oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'm sorry.
All right. I hear you. I just use very, very volatile type.
That's okay.
It's a shame that I don't have more time to talk to you.
That's okay. Listen, Yuri. Yuri, here's what I'm going to do. Yuri, before you say anything else, listen, go take care of your daughter. That's important. I'm copying your number right now. I'm going to call you off the air, and I'm going to get some more information on this. Like I said, when I read it, I was saying, like, this is a program. One, not only did they expand it, but they lied to folks. So what are they doing about it now? And they're saying, oh, we're just going to move the program around. It's just shuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic, as government always does. So I kind of wanted to address this, and I want to go a little bit further. This is something that we can address and we can fix.
Yeah, they were deeply aware that it was a broken program, and Rick and I have proof that the then sustainability coordinator, Kim O'Rourke, had a direct relationship with Waste Zero, and they actually helped her write the grant request, knowing that they were going to be the ones to receive the money when it gets flowed down in their direction. They were spending thousands of dollars per month on something called community champions.
Yeah.
Paid actors. People were paid to support the program, show up at meetings and say how great it was, how they were saving money. These people were being compensated. It was great. It was AstroTurf support. It was inauthentic. It was just an unbelievable mess. We saw through it right at the beginning.
I need to
no
sit.
one listened to us.
I need to sit on the phone with you and get so much of this information. I will get it to you. Go tend to your daughter, man, because she needs daddy. So I totally understand. Go ahead, boss man.
Right,
thank you so much for calling. I appreciate you. Let's take a couple more before we get up out of here. Somebody wrote something in the chat room. Let me read. Zach said, he said, it must be nice to be on the left and be able to worry about someone saying something inappropriate instead of people on the right having to literally worry about being attacked physically because you don't follow the delusion. Unfortunately, people on the right have to worry about sending their child to school and the second that they walk out that door, they will be handed a library book graphically depicting sexual acts and being told that if they go as so far as to say that they like the color purple, their son is actually a daughter. And then they have to worry about the school filing a report with DCF and claiming abuse because they don't feed into such illusion. I need to continue. No, you don't need to continue. I totally appreciate that. Someone said that I'm trying to be a bully here. I'm not. Look, If it gets old with you that I actually have to tell people to stop being rude and disrespectful and talking this nonsense about that, if that affects you in some sort of way, look, I take those L's. I respect you. I respect exactly how you feel about it, but that doesn't mean I'm going to change. I say do it with grace and do it with respect. I'm trying to do the same thing. But, if you're not paying attention to the blatant disrespect that comes this way on this show, where people are like making comments about your sobriety in a disgusting way, and I don't even want to go there, but if people are being disrespectful to you, what would you have me do? Oh, you want me to show grace? You want me to be kind? I can't. I just won't. I'm not a bully, but I won't be bullied either. So if you like to show, if you don't, if you think that, I think I'm too arrogant, that's fine too. But I think my integrity and I think my personality and who I am speaks for itself, and I think it's leaps and bounds above what people think of me in a negative way. Okay? It's as simple as that. And God bless you. God bless you. Let's go to Fred in Middletown. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm good, and you set me up perfectly because I'm calling to talk about you. I got 2 words for you. One is iconoclast. You know what that is?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, you are, that's your middle name, one who attacks cherished beliefs as shams, radical. And the other, it just occurred to me when I said that I used the Negro nonsense to communicate what your show is about. You are a all capitals blasphemer with infinite exclamation points. Blaspheme, dude.
I know it. And look, I know it. And you know what it is? I'll tell you this much, Fred, and I don't tell people enough about this because I'm not one of these soy boys that's always complaining about my trauma. I don't do it. But there is a truth behind this. As a kid, I tell the story about Cornflake. And as a kid, I was bullied. Bullied. I got jumped by like 9 kids one day who got me onto the ground and kicked me and beat me to the point where I could barely walk. I got bullied a lot as a child. And I was scared of my own shadow. My mom was
terrorized comes to mind.
Yeah. And again, yes, my mom was very physically abusive. She beat me with things like 2x4s. And I dealt with that my entire life. And you know what? As I got older and I decided that I finally was going to stand up for what I believe in, I used to let people bully me and for what I believed or things that I knew weren't true. And then I had the ultimate challenge where you get accused of something that you know you didn't do, but nobody will listen to you and they would rather beat you down and destroy your life. And I refuse to go back. I'm never, ever going back to the point where people get to do or say or believe whatever it is they want to do about me. I'm going to stand on my own too and do exactly what is necessary. And that is tell the truth without favor and without fear. And if I got to take the lashes, I will take them. If I got to take the slings and arrows, I will. I don't care. Because again, at the end of the day, when I die, it's got to be on my feet and never on my knees.
Well, and to use a baseball analogy, you're not going down looking, you're swinging. And if I might throw an axiom from biology, I'm so glad I happened to tune in to hear you drop the hammer on the ever palindromic Bob there. Oh, my God. What a horrible call, horrible voice, horrible everything. The principle is, regarding the health of an organism, that elimination is as important to health as assimilation or digestion or respiration. You don't eliminate, you die, man. That's constipation. Couldn't figure out why his call was good forever with Tom. And
well, no, I don't look. I don't look. I don't want to speak of the past or anything like that. But again, like I just said, it's like at this particular point.
You leave that to the vulgar caller. Yeah.
I played, yes, as I said, I played nice for a long time, and now I think people say, "Oh, he's a nice guy. Let me just be abusive." I'm done. So
turn the page. You can only serve one master. All right, let me get out of here.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Time for me to go, folks. I'm sorry. It is at the end of the show. Tomorrow, like I said, we'll get into this town council that's spewing this stuff. We got audio for it, so we'll play that for you as well. This is actually this is desperate, what I'm seeing here, by these people calling everybody a Nazi who disagrees with them. And this is something that's got to stop and it's got to be addressed. But we'll get to that. You guys have a wonderful night. As I always say, radio is free. So we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning. So plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good night, pleasant tomorrow. And we'll see you back here mañana. Mark Christopher, He's getting you home. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, sir.
Hey, good night, Reese. Have a good one. Everybody have a great night. Southbound.
All right, good sir.
Thank you, man.
It's southbound between 34
Friday's
and 33.
already.
Left
Yeah,
lane's
you're
out.
right,
Looks
Lord.
like they've got the vehicles.
It's already going to be Friday.
Friday coming on up.
For delays approaching 34 down to
you-
the Jackson scene. A little slow
Wait a
again.
minute.
As you
Are you
approach
gonna work
32
the whole
A&D to
day
Hartford.
Saturday, or you're
Another
gonna move
brief
it in one
slowdown
shot?
by exit 28 on
Probably all day Saturday, me and my cousin. I was supposed to be me, my cousin, my brother-in-law, but he hurt his back, so
Just in time.
just in time.
5 to 44
All right,
in
see you
West Hartford,
manana.
84
Yes, sir.
Running slow from 44 Prospect Oakwood up to 46 Sisson Avenue. 2 westbounds tight from 1D up.
Blah, 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 blah. What was that? Let me see. The left are bullies just compared to reaction to George Floyd's words to Charlie Kirk. Yeah, absolutely. Disagreement is never an issue. He just wants you to be respectful. Oh, okay. You're listening to him. Yeah, somebody was right about the 2x4 thing. So 2x4 is 2x4. Stick was about this long. My mother grabbed it, took it off of a couch, and she beat me with it like if she were carrying a belt or a switch. And she tore into my body with the corner of the stick. And she beat me all about my legs. I still have the scars today because it cut into my flesh. And she was beating me about it. I didn't tell you the dirty part because there is a dirty part to this story. The reason why my mother beat me for an hour with that 2x4 was because I took $1.80 from a brass piggy bank because she had left for work and forgot to give me bus fare so I could take my brother to his babysitter and I can go to school. And because I couldn't reach her and there was no such thing as a cell phone, she had already gone, I needed to take the bus. And so I took the money out of the piggy bank. When she found out about it, she accused me of stealing from her. That's why she beat me. So yeah, I dealt with a lot of abuse in my life, but it made me. And I never, ever held anything against my mother about it. I don't bring it up. It's like, remember that time when you beat me? Nope. I don't deal with any trauma. I'm not traumatized by it. I don't go back to it. I don't wake up in a cold sweat. It's a fabric of my life. A lot of bad things happened to me from my homeless time to, when bullies beat me up, being disrespected, abused, all of it. It's part of my growing up. That's why with no due respect, I look at the rest of these folks screaming and hollering about stuff that they're annoyed about what they get outraged about. Somebody called me a name. Somebody said something I didn't like. Someone called an immigrant fat. So what? So what? I look at all of that and I say, really? Like I'm supposed to change the way I look at the world because you got offended about words? That now those things are the ones that are like crushing words somebody posted on a Facebook page you had no business on other than to antagonize and to attack? Because I said something on the radio that you didn't like, that you think that for some odd reason you should stop the world so that somebody can pat you or give you a hug or make you feel special? And then you wonder why I turn around and look at you and say, no, thank you. I don't do that because of the abuse that I dealt with. I do it because I know what abuse is. I know what oppressive behavior is. I know what it's like to be silenced. I know what it's like to be ignored. What you're whining about is nowhere near that, ever. You folks scream about slavery. You have no idea what people have dealt with in their life. So please, with all due respect on my show, it just isn't going to fly. Call me callous, call me cold. I don't care. I've had enough in my life to deal with it. I came out on the other side, and I am joyful. I have grace. I have absolute pride, and I love what I do, and I love the people that I get to do it for. So if you want to make it about you, please go do it somewhere else. And if it's callous to say I don't care, I don't. I just want you to enjoy the show. Just do that. And if you can't, then go. Okay? Maybe my show isn't for you. You guys be good to each other.